I said, I do not feel very well at all. I don't know why, but so I didn't want to read here and sit here and ramble, whatever, whatever. Let me talk about what I really want to talk about. Let me talk about what I really want to talk about. Mm. First of all, I want to tell all y'all good morning, good midday, whatever the heck it is. Yeah, I went to sleep really, really late last night. I was tired. I put this hoodie on, so I didn't get up until later on the day or whatever, whatever. I ain't on here to complain about nothing. I ain't on here to bitch about nothing or whatever, whatever. I just want to point my direction towards YouTube. Freaking YouTube. There's a war going on YouTube, believe it or not. And I know a lot of people may not believe me, but there is. There's a war going on within the pro-black community. There's a war going on in between the Latino community. There's a war going on between genders within the culture on YouTube. YouTube being used for a lot of different stuff, a lot of different finagling, a lot of different. It's crazy, man. But one thing that I find in common is that a lot of black YouTubers, black male YouTubers, ain't getting paid for nothing. But yet still we got views floating all through our videos or the rebroadcast or whatever the YouTube ain't paying us for. And I just recently talked to another YouTuber. I ain't gonna put his name out there, but I talked to another YouTuber in the comment section about the same thing. We had a nice little talk or whatever, whatever. And I was smart enough to just delete the shit because I ain't want nobody to be sitting back and being like, oh, these niggas is complete. You know how they always try to put you out there. Oh, you complaining or whatever the case may be or whatever, whatever. But it is a real problem. It is a real problem. I don't care what nobody say. And it's like, people don't like me to get on here and talk about money and donations and all that shit or whatever, whatever. But it's pertinent to have the discussion. YouTube's not paying us. YouTube won't allow us to monetize unless you have cookie cutter material, or it seems like if you're a female. You know what I mean? Like the females on YouTube, oh my God, they get away with so many different subject matters. It's ridiculous. Like I went through, and I'm not using her as an example, and she's definitely not getting me views, but I want to give it as an example. The team people that I've been talking about, and there's going to be other ones I talk about too, Chris Logic and Cynthia G or whatever. These ladies are able to put up any title that they want to, and it just flows through. I put up a video the other day. It was a fight video, and within 20 minutes, they was ready to take the video down. And I'm like, okay, but this chick then had this video, this video, this video. I mean, the salacious, nasty, belligerent fucking material. Everything that you could say to downsize a man of color, even though you know the setback. It's just crazy how YouTube operates. So I ain't really here complaining about my followers. You know what I'm saying? They are who they are. So a lot of them don't get alerts for whatever reason because of YouTube. But somehow or another, this woman promoting abortion and everything else, and a litany of other different people, not just women, but a litany of different other people are able to talk about whatever the fuck they want to talk about on here, and they don't get a flag. And so then it made me realize I think YouTube is doing this based off simply just views. They base it off views, they base it off repetitive views, you know, and they get those alerts out to people evidently that follow this salacious, nasty material. And I'm just like, okay, but 1 week I can go from how many thousands of views or whatever, whatever, and get reduced down to 200 views, 50 views, 60 views. And I seen the 4 or 5 little flags I got the other day from whoever it was, you know what I'm saying? That tried to attempt to take down a video that I put up or whatever. Y'all put a lot of effort into that. You got to believe that. You know what I'm saying? I saw my man Red Supreme last night complaining about the same shit. Somebody was trying to flag him, take his video down because he roasted this kid. Meanwhile, these motherfuckers sit online all day long, talk about abortion, killing men of color, and all kinds of other shit or whatever, whatever. And they get a ride. And in some cases, some of these motherfuckers can monetize their page. I've given up a little. I gave up a minute ago as far as like the support system and all that shit or whatever, whatever. Because I just really think that what I need is new followers. You know, so I'm more so for that right now, trying to get new followers, new people to the channel or whatever, whatever. And some of the existing people that are there, y'all been wonderful, and I don't want to take nothing away from y'all, but I think I need more supporters and more retention on the channel. So then that way I can literally, you know what I'm saying, put myself in a better financial situation because it's definitely, you know what I mean, people out there that are good hearted, that are donating or whatever, whatever. The only thing that bothers me, like I said again, I have to say it again, is the attentive space of people of color nowadays, you know. Um, and those will I put up a fight video, depending on the fight video or the shock video, or whatever. And that's why I throw them up because that's what y'all like. Some of you, that's all you pay attention to. Some of you, they ain't got a violent tone or whatever. But my question is, why is YouTube allowing that to screw through? That like y'all don't never ask yourself that question. Like, why does YouTube allow violent shit? It allows women that sit up on a daily basis have a daily diatribe of aborting male children. And why does YouTube allow so much of the salacious shit to get through? But if you throw up a video and their moderators don't care for it, and you a guy, especially a guy of color, you getting that shit ripped down. Even the white dudes get a better chance than you do as a male. You know what I'm saying? When they come to this platform. So at first I was thinking to myself, I said, all right, well, I'll take it over to Patreon. Then I heard people on Patreon complaining, so it kind of detoured me from that. I've heard several people complaining on Patreon talking about, well, you know, people it ain't what it's cracked up to be. Most of the people that you have from YouTube, they don't want to follow you over there. You know what I mean? They don't because YouTube's free, and once they get over there on Patreon, they now have to pay. You know, and sad to say, but it is the truth. You know, a lot of people are not going to follow me from YouTube specifically to Patreon because of pure simple fact they believe at that point, hey, you know what? I'm gonna be opted to pay something. You know, so it's a mixture of not only this the followers, and why I'm emphasizing I need new followers, but it's also YouTube themselves. You know, and I think YouTube, and I have to say it, and I think Google, who owns YouTube, I think they're specifically targeting men, and not only just men, I think they're targeting men of color as far as like what they're going to monetize them, if they're going to monetize them, if they're not going to monetize them, or whatever. Because if I had YouTube monetizing me, you would never hear me throw up anything about a Cash App or anything else or whatever. I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I would rely on them to get paid by them based on the views. And my views are there. You know, this in the last 24 hours. This is why I'm speaking about this. This in the last 24 hours on my YouTube studio, I've clocked in 3,400 and something views across all my videos. Cause see, that's the thing with me. A lot of people have to play catch up with my videos because I throw up so many videos. That's why sometimes I'll spend a day and I won't throw up anything because of pure simple fact I'm trying to get those other ones to, you know what I'm saying? Here goes one of these people with the freaking what's the name again? Let's get him out of here. We'll get him out of here in a second. But and I'll do because a lot of it has to do with the people as well. But I'll wait for a sec before I get into that. Hi, Christopher Shader. Is VOTFYI? Is that your code for throwing some chaos in here? You feel like that's what you could do? Want to throw some chaos in here? Christopher, I want to let you know something. You out of here. That VOTFYI thing that you guys just saw, that's a virus. See what I mean? So that's why I said it's the people here on YouTube. You're allowed to do whatever you want to. If y'all don't know what I'm talking about, this guy just threw, I'm gonna take a screenshot of it because I'm gonna throw it up later so y'all can see what I'm talking about. But those VOTFYIs and all that shit, those are bots. And what those bots do is they come in onto your channel and they make it so you can't have as many views. It skews the algorithm. There's a whole bunch of motherfuckers been doing that shit. It took me a minute to figure out what it is, but you have special people that evidently know how to do this and they get online and that's what they do. They'll throw little bots at you or whatever to skew your channel because they don't like you. Usually these people, believe it or not, look just like you. They put a lot of effort. Oh, nasty motherfuckers on motherfucking YouTube. Please believe that. And most of them, believe it or not, a lot of times, depending on your color, look just like you. All throughout all spheres of it, black, white, whatever, whatever. Most of the haters look just like you. So, I ain't even take it as personal. I don't even care. You know what I mean? These niggas just spend more time trying to harass a motherfucker and take down your channel than anything. So it is what it is. YouTube, YouTube. It's a joke now, man. You know what I mean? It really is. Motherfuckers get sensitive, and then the first thing they want to do is go tattletale. I don't flag people's pages. I don't flag people's comments if I don't have to. I don't do none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? But if you keep fucking with me and fucking with my channel and thinking that my channel's a joke, I'm gonna start doing that. And I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it in crews. You understand what I'm saying? We'll get you down if we need to, but I don't need to do shit like that. I think that me being the person that I am and trying to be honest with people, I think that that supersedes everything. So I don't be worried about shit like that, man. I really don't. I watch what I talk about nowadays because there's so many sensitive people out here. I watch what I talk about nowadays, and I'm gonna start dumbing down. Well, I've already started dumbing down. I said that the other day, and I mean that. I'm like, fuck all that going to different locations, trying to be like, hey, listen, I'm willing to work for mine, whatever, whatever. Because honestly and truthfully, just to be honest with you, folks don't respect that shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? They don't care. They don't care where you go to. They don't care what you provide for them. They don't care what you say to them. They don't care even if you're saying what you're saying is dead ass truth. You know what I'm saying? Only thing people want to hear on here, and YouTube promotes it, and that's why I say this, is violence. If it ain't violence, I looked at that video. They got some ongoing feud that's going on with Black Youngster and Young Dolph, right? And if you look around, just do a search on the internet right now. You look for the videos that talk about Young Dolph and Black Youngster, what Black Youngster is doing with his diss videos and showing up to the graveyard, filming the video at Young Dolph's gravesite and all this stuff, and the things he said in there, whatever, whatever. That shit's circulating around YouTube. You think any of them people have gotten taken down? No, they ain't get taken down. They get hundreds and thousands of views. And I'm saying, yo, this shit don't make sense. So you want to take down a fight video or whatever that I had up of a woman that got, and what the video I'm talking about is this woman, she's in the hallway, and I was assuming it was her family. And this woman came outside in the hallway, and she was wanted to fight one of the girls, and she had a taser in her hand. And they turned the tides and whooped on her. You know what I'm saying? That video, that was the fastest video I ever got taken down. That video was taken down within an hour. An hour. Meanwhile, I'm seeing videos of people dead. After they dead, they show some videos on here with people, they actually go and see the body and everything like that. So yeah, I do believe it's an attack on men of color on here. And I'll challenge you even further than this. Ask any of your local black YouTubers how many of them, male specifically, ask them how many of them are monetized. Then ask Latino male YouTubers how many of them are monetized if they just do material like me. And you're going to find it's little if none. Little if none. So yeah, I do believe there's a little thing going on, whatever, whatever, with YouTube or whatever. And, you know, it is what it is, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to sit here and cry about it. But one thing I will say is this. I find it very disturbing, and I've said this before and I'll say it again. I find it very disturbing, and I'm not hating. I'm not hating. I'm just paying attention. See, that's the difference. I'm not hating, I'm paying attention. I find it very disturbing that I see people literally. I was on what, maybe 5 different podcasts last night, and I saw people just throwing. And to some of these people, don't get me wrong, a lot of them was deserving. Red Supreme, he deserving. Corey Holcomb, he deserving. But I see these people throw hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And I like naturally, I'm gonna just do the math and I'm gonna be like, damn, son, they like me could use that right now. You know what I'm saying? But you'll never see that revenue. You me, I will never see that. And it's a whole bunch of variables in it. You know what I'm saying? One, YouTube, I think honestly and truthfully has shadowed and sequestering my views. You know what I'm saying? Two, I do believe just like I got that VOT.FYI Christopher Snyder, who I've never seen here before, who just tried to throw that bot virus in here, and I blocked his ass. But there's people around us doing that are people of color. There's people out here that are doing anything and everything they can. I'm not just talking about specifically me, but whenever they see a black or Latin YouTuber, they want to attack them. You understand what I'm saying? Especially if you say some shit they don't like. Don't say something they don't like, or don't talk against their favorite YouTuber. They ready to go to World War III with you. Feel me? And so it's like when you got that to combat against, you got the YouTube algorithm to combat against, or whatever. And then at the end of the day, it's like, damn, my nigga, I'm going through all this shit, going to these locations, everything like that, or whatever. And the motherfucker can't even donate $5 for me to get a cup of coffee. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's time to cut that shit out. So there will be no more, at least right now, there will be no traveling to locations. Don't suggest nothing to me. I keep it a buck, I think. People have suggested, like, I don't know if y'all get it or not, but people have suggested that I go to certain locations and do whatever, whatever. When I went up to Trump Tower, that was a dare from somebody. Somebody was basically dared me. He said, well, go up there again if you did a live up there. I don't believe you. Matter, but a matter of factly, the videos are still on the channel. You know what I'm saying? So I said, all right, cool. I set the challenge to go on up there, do this live in front of the Chantal. Let the niggas know, like, I'm good up here. You know what I mean? That wasn't enough. I ain't received one dime. But I'll sit there and I'll watch certain people that do nothing. And like I said, this ain't no shot at none of the people I was checking last night. But I'll watch people that literally spend their whole day doing nothing more than tearing down the culture, talking about people, gossiping, making up lies in most cases, or whatever, whatever. And these people believe them and take thousands of dollars in based off this. You know what I mean? And so I'm like, yo, what the fuck am I doing wrong? I ain't doing nothing wrong. It's a pure simple fact of a couple of things. One, a couple of y'all motherfuckers evidently don't like me, but you follow me, which is fucking hilarious. I don't follow nobody I don't like. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll check on your channel, but I ain't gonna follow you. I have motherfuckers that follow me that will hit thumbs down, motherfuckers that will write comments that y'all can't see because I have the filters on, so you can't just write whatever the fuck you want to write on my page. YouTube will retract the comment. I had a dude write in the comment section, people that have retractions on the comments is PUSSY. Word. Now, man, I just don't feel like arguing with your goofy ass, especially if ain't no money involved. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man. YouTube is foul. I've been looking at a couple other different websites or whatever, but I don't think that Patreon move is a good move for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, people will say a whole bunch. Like I tried to tell y'all before, I don't go off Chuck. I just go off of niggas' action. That's where I come from. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I try to exert to my crowd. I don't go in and be like, yeah, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do this, that, and don't do it. I come from a tribe of dudes, I believe, that this basically was like, if you say you gonna do it, to do that. You know what I'm saying? Don't lie to the folks, don't tell them Chuck, don't tell them bullshit or whatever. That is not applauded here on YouTube, especially by the YouTube Black and Latin community. What's applauded to them is whoever can sound like a tree stump preacher the loudest, whoever can tell you BS that you want to hear the loudest, or whatever, whatever. I'll give you a perfect example. I could tell some of my crowd, there's a bomb coming tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? There will be somebody that will be in the advert and versus me and will hop up online 10, 15 minutes later and be like, there ain't no bomb coming tomorrow. Black Jesus gonna save us. Y'all are kings and queens, It'll come with that routine. And base versus me versus como tú estás, and versus me versus another YouTuber, they will donate to the YouTuber lying to them. You know, we've seen dozens of them do this. I've seen, well, the most important one, I think, Brother Polite, and what's the other one's name? Dr. Umar. Yeah, that's his name. A nigga that's been taking 13 years to build a school. What's going on? It's like, it's crazy to me. They donate to millionaires. Like I said, I just, I look at the subject material and I see how people get 80,000 views or whatever. Last night I had one of the stories that before anybody had it, and it should have went fucking like 90,000 at minimum. And that was the fight that happened in Miami-Dade Airport. It was hundreds of people involved. It was like Cubano versus Dominicano. Only people in Miami and shit down there gonna know what I'm talking about. But I put that video up before it had even got into rotation. And so I saw major news outlets now recording on the story, and they were getting hundreds of thousands of views. I saw other basic YouTubers that had less followers than me doing the story, and they were getting 30,000, 40,000 views or whatever, whatever. And I looked at the video that I put up, and I was like, hold up, this shit ain't getting up but 200 views? Uh-uh. Something wrong. Something wrong. But yet and still, I put up a video about a girl twerking at her wedding. And that shit at almost at 1.3 mil, 1.3, what, 1,300 views, 1.3K. Y'all don't think so? You know what I'm saying? Only thing I'm saying to you guys is maybe getting fed some BS here on YouTube. That's all I'm saying. Maybe YouTube is part of the game. You get what I'm saying? Maybe YouTube really ain't nobody's friend. You know what I'm saying? Because they do the same with whites too. But what peeks out to me more so than anything, and I keep saying it is, how come all the bad material, how come all the shitty material, how come that material is the material that hovers and gets views? But when you talking about some real shit, or you trying to enlighten folks or whatever, whatever, that barely gets any views. Now there are exceptions like Sonetta and a couple other people, of course. But I just find, and I reached out to somebody that I know at YouTube. I ain't gonna put that into perspective, but I asked, and this person just said to me, he was like, I can't do nothing about that. It was like the same thing with getting your channel back. It was hard for me to do because I have to go through channels with Google. You know, a lot of people don't know that I had some problems with a YouTuber, and they flagged my page or whatever, and it took me a minute, but I got my page back. You know what I'm saying? I had to go through channels. It wasn't through no election of me contacting YouTube personally or whatever, whatever. Nah, that don't work. YouTube is owned by Google. So Google is the one that's letting this shit go through. And a lot of people they don't recognize that, but it's Google that's letting this shit through. Not YouTube. YouTube is nothing. YouTube is a vehicle. That's all it is. Again, if y'all wondering why I'm laying up in the bed or whatever, whatever, halfway in midday, I've been a little sick since Sunday. You know what I'm saying? I ain't feeling too well. But I'll be all right. I'll be all right. Don't y'all worry about me like that. Ain't nobody worry about me anyway. But you know what I'm saying? And I really want to say RIP to David Carroll. That's a prime example of that. RIP to David Carroll, man, one of the most premier YouTubers, in my opinion, on here, who has passed away. If you don't know who David Carroll is, his material and his channel is still up. Y'all go check out David Carroll. And Hueva, para presidente, gracias. Um, it's sad, man, that David Carroll died, man, because, and I don't know what he died of. I saw the brother of Logic did a live last night. I know he was close to him, and I caught some of that before I went and checked Red Supreme on his channel. Y'all go check out Red Supreme. I'm gonna get into that too in a minute, but RP to David Carroll. I think he was, yeah, I think he was influential in a lot of things on YouTube. He called himself the professor. I mean, he got on here and talked about everything, whether it was relationships or whatever. And David Carroll really had that like smart uncle approach. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to have anybody forget him or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And I think there should be more YouTubers paying homage to David Carroll because he was one of the pioneers here on YouTube as far as the Black and Latin ecosphere on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Or Black YouTube, whatever the fuck y'all want to call it. But he was definitely, you know what I mean, one of the premier people, in my opinion, that was here on YouTube that was speaking honestly and truthfully or whatever. And he came under attacks from people too. A lot of people don't want to hear honesty. They want to hear lies because lies sound better to them. You know, living in delusion sound better to them. You know what I'm saying? We gonna do this, and as a people, we gonna do this, that, and then there's no momentum or action behind it. You feel me? So it's like it's just chuck, you know. So I guess nowadays I'm asking myself, yo, black people and Latin people feel more comfortable living in a dream world where actually there's no facilitation of anything happening other than dreams, ideas, and feel goods. You know, I don't get it because I just see the setback and I'm just like, yo, this shit might be getting to the point where it ain't even worth it no more. You know what I'm saying? And I'm really thinking about that walking into the new year. You know, like I said, I'm not on here complaining. I ain't worried about your donations. You don't have to give me nada. Okay, I'm cool. I'm not gonna beg nobody to give me a dime. I'm just merely suggesting and pointing out what black people and Latin people are donating to. You know, and I just noticed it's a whole bunch of millionaire YouTubers that did. I mean, like niggas are actually out here giving three, four, $500 and donating it to stars that have YouTube pages. Star, I'm talking about established stars. I'm not talking about stars that whatever, whatever. You know what I'm saying? C list, the D list, or whatever, whatever. I'm talking about stars that have podcasts. I've seen them collecting three, $400 or whatever, and I'm like, that shit don't make sense. Would you be interested in a few things in Nairobi, Kenya? Um, I don't know. You have to be more descriptive, my friend. I'm not really. You want me to speak about Africa? I'm not really one of those guys that's like into the whole Pan African thing. I'm not, you know, for many of different reasons. I respect Africa, but all the Africans I've ever been around or whatever, I've always got questions like one. I had one time I got into a conversation because I know them from everywhere. They're from someone from Ghana, some of them are from Senegal, which is a French speaking country. If you're not familiar with Ghana, Ghana had the slave castles, and that's how we got over here. You know, even if you're in Cuba, okay, even if you're in Cuba, all right. Salud, mi gente, negrito, santo sabe na negro. But yeah, I mean, I'm just not a Africa centered person, I guess. There's a lot of things that I look at Africa when I talk about Africa. You know, they got the Chinese over there running crazy. They are fighting workers that they are hiring. I mean, like physically assaulting them and all kinds of shit like that or whatever. And then like these same people will come over here to the States and literally act like they're better than you. A lot of Africans are not interested in uniting with you. They look at you as you are under them. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of them believe in the king and the queens, whether it be from Dutch background, Spaniard background, English background. A lot of these Africans, they don't like you. And I've pulled up videos before, and I think I still got one down there. If not, I'll redo it and show you what I mean. I had a whole reel that I put up, and it was showing all these different Africans in Africa, and they were talking about, no, we don't want to they were giving their views basically of what they thought of African Americans, and they were saying that you were weak. They didn't want to do any conglomerate with you. They didn't want to become one on one with you. Talking about why should we do this? Why should we do this? Why should we become one with them? And there was another video where one man aptly just straight out, he looked like he was half Arab, not like Ethiopian, Eritrean, like he just looked like he was half Arab. And there's another one. I want to show you. I want y'all to see something. See where that name right there in the chat room, where it has, and I'm gonna circle it so I can have it later. See that name in the chat room that looks like it's Russian or something? I'm gonna block it in about 2 seconds. That right there, that's somebody trying to put a virus with bots on my channel. Isn't that crazy? This is what people do. This is what people do. So we're gonna remove you, get you up out of here. View message has been deleted. People do that to put bots on your channel, and the put bots will stop the fucking views coming in. Nobody's attacking them from YouTube, are they? I try to tell y'all, y'all don't really know how this shit works. I know a lot of y'all as viewers and how it works, but trust me, there's a lot of Chuck shit that goes on here with this YouTube thing. And YouTube, they literally protect a lot of people. Back to Africa though. The Chinese over in Africa currently are sitting over there and they have basically taken control of certain parts of Africa. And what I mean by that is their investment power is strong. We're talking about billions of dollars. A lot of these people that you see throughout China that own these companies, the mentality is different. If you're not opulent in some part of life, some of these people will disown you. They will not talk to you society wise, etc., etc., etc. There's a lot of shaming and shamming that goes on in Chinese, and not just Chinese, but this Asian society, period. If you go to Japan, it's the same thing. What do you mean? You have not gotten your doctorate degree? Same thing in the Arab countries, and the same thing in Africa. So a lot of the times, these guys, they think innately they're better than you. All these people that I just mentioned in those ethnic groups are with inside Africa currently and have businesses going on and all kinds of other stuff or whatever. In my interaction with Africans, I have found that I'll get a lot of different responses. Like one time I knew I was speaking Spanish in front of an African dude, and he was just like, "Where are you?" And it just made him change the conversation. And once I told him I was half Cuban, the first thing he did was he went into this diatribe trying to diss African Americans. He did it very slick. He was like, "This is how I can tell you are not one of," and when he said these words, it just insulted me so much. "This is how I can tell you are not one of these Yankees." And I said, "A Yankee? Well, nigga, I was born here. What the fuck are you talking about?" You know what I mean? Like it was just crazy to me because like a lot of Africans, they don't like African Americans and they think that you're less than them. And it's the same thing go with Cuban folks. If you were born in America, it don't matter if you full-blooded Cuban. The motherfuckers don't like you. And it's the same thing with African Americans. African Americans, if you have a drop of anything else other than black in you, they want to skew you, they want to make fun of you, they want to talk about you. But in heightened regard, the first thing that a lot of African Americans will do unjustifiably is say they have something in them, which they don't. You know, I've had other like, and it's not necessarily always true, but I've had black people come up to me and say, I have this, they have that. And innately, yeah, a lot of black people are mixed for sure. But don't tell me you half Puerto Rican and I can look at you and tell you ain't half Puerto Rican. And even furthermore, you don't even speak Spanish. How you have Puerto Rican or have whatever? You don't even speak Spanish like that. And in some cases, you could be, you could be wrong or off or whatever. But I would have thought at some point in your life you'd be like, yo, you know what? I want to learn Spanish or tío or tía, tú sabes la abuela, el abuelo. Somebody would teach you some Spanish, like hey, manita, something. Have you heard of this man named JT, the bigger figure from California? He was responsible for a game career. I have heard of him. Yeah, JT, the bigger figure. That's a classic, man, right there, man. Shout out to JT, the bigger figure, man. Shout out to niggas like that, man. Tell that nigga come donate to me, man. I know he got that paper. That's why I said I need motherfuckers that, like, I need new followers. That's his point. There's a lot of people that's coming in here and they just like viewing shit. I've seen people run with my ideas. I watched one motherfucker and I had to unfollow him and block him about 2 months ago. This nigga was literally taking my subjects, not all of them, but a lot of them, and he was rendering them and putting them into a podcast. Not even in debt, like I was in depth, like I was. He was just like running with my titles, and I'm like, nigga, you sound crazy. Like, and the way I figured it out was I did this video about Puff and I was making fun of Puff and I put in some clips. It was like, you make me feel mighty real. I was just fucking around. I could do that with Puff. You understand what I'm saying? Like, don't get me wrong, even though I got my what's the name or my I guess you say my jump on here on YouTube talking about my situation with the company when I was heavily with the company and everything like that. Don't make the mistake about it. We still BBE for life. You understand what I'm saying? Like I tell motherfuckers, I tell them all the time, I'm arguing with I was arguing with my homies. That don't mean you gonna argue with my homies because we'll rough you the fuck up. You understand what I'm saying? That's a fact. Let me see what's the name out there. One of my boys. Here goes another one. Y'all see this right here? Look at the H one right there before I block them. See him? See that joint that says VUN.FYI? That's somebody trying to put a bot on my channel. So I'm gonna take a screenshot of that because I want people to see this. See that right there? Look right there where you just wrote Antoine Queen. Look above it. See, it says VN.FYI. And that's why I keep trying to tell y'all that FYI thing is a bot. I've watched, I don't know how many videos of people talking about that. They want to come to America and step on us while the Chinese and Indians in the countries are stepping on them. And that's exactly what I'm talking about, Superstar Bella. I'm so glad you wrote that. It is that. I live in the New York City tri-state, okay? And in New York, yeah, you see it, right? I try to tell you, like, and sometimes people will think I'm crazy when I'm saying what I'm saying, like, oh, that nigga don't know what he talking about, da 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 da. Trust me, there are people that I had to watch YouTube videos from like a couple of different white vloggers, believe it or not, that pointed that shit out. They was like, yeah, this is a YouTube bot. This is what they do. It's no real way of getting rid of them. There's only one solution. He said, if you want to get rid of them, don't leave them on your page for no longer than 2 minutes, because if you do that, hey, TMH Global, what's going on? They're going real one. If you leave them on your page long enough, what they'll do is that shit will crest into the algorithm. That FYI joint is actually what we used to call it in coding in college. I forgot what it is. It's a command prompt. And so the command prompt, what it does is it takes your video once they put it in on there. And I'm gonna get back to the subject, but it takes your video and it throws it into basically oblivion with all these other FYI ones or whatever, whatever. Yo, Chino, are you building a lot of roads on Africa? Yes, Chino are building. Yeah, they're building a lot of roads on Africa. The Chinese have been over there building for the past really heavily 10 years. They're over there taking minerals. One of the biggest problems right now, if y'all don't know, and one of the reasons why it was hard for me to get a phone and why I had to settle for a different phone was because of the pure simple fact that there's there's a problem with getting chips for the phones and the mining of the chips. They have overmined the chips in Africa. Believe it or not, these most of the chips that you get in your phone that operate your phone, whether it be from whatever distributor, ATM is one of them, Antium is one of them, and I forgot what the other ones is. But this chip is what allows your phone to actually conduct and actually get a signal. There's another one. Y'all see that other one? VUM.NOG. Y'all see that other one right under Antoine Queen, right at the bottom? There's another one. I can't make this shit up. I keep trying to tell y'all. These motherfuckers is fucking with me. But anyway, we ain't gonna let that bother us. Ain't nothing gonna get me down. Ain't nothing gonna get me down. I don't give a fuck if I don't get a dime. You're not gonna stop me from what I'm saying. There's real ones around. Anyway, this shortage of chips has affected not only the production of cell phones, but also the production of tablets, also the production of laptops or whatever. Well, in particular, even though the minerals that they grab and they use, which are iron ore, and it's a couple of other things that they use. I forgot what the other ones are, but they're semiconductors. Even though they are routed and et cetera in mind in Africa, it's Chinese companies that are actually running these. And they have African workers. But if you guys look up the videos, you guys will see it. I may or may not. I'm not putting in too much effort nowadays because ain't nobody putting in no effort with me. That's why I was sitting up here talking about I'm not going to no more locations or none of that. I think I've done my part, whatever. So, and until I see that donation shit boost up or whatever, and y'all know where I can find in the description box, I'm not doing any of that shit. I got sick for having intentions of going to a location and film. So, that's why I'm laying up in the bed right now. I'm not lazy. I'm literally, I'm kind of sick right now. So, I'm taking it easy. But the Chinese and the semiconductors that they need, they were undermining them, and they've depleted it because one of the big problems is you have so many different cell phone manufacturers throughout the world. I mean, you have so many that make phones, and they make not only just one phone, they'll make several different phones. And these are the phones that are competitors for people like Samsung, Apple, iPhone, and things like that or whatever. So there's a shortage of semiconductors. And the Chinese, they run that market with inside Africa. These same Africans that are being beaten, being abused by the Chinese or whatever, a lot of them will come over here And what they will do, they will totally disrespect you. They will call you a Yankee. They will try to talk down on you. They will look at you, even if you're 10 times more successful than them. They will look down on you as if you are not as affluent or in tune with things as they are. I've watched Arabs do this more and more so, especially here in the Northeast, as of lately. For some reason or another, a lot of white Americans seemingly like to and I wrote a comment about this, and I'm glad this white dude, he came in and he agreed with me. A lot of liberals, um and I had to say this, and I'm half immigrant, so I could say this shit. A lot of like immigrants that normally or at one time would have been very, very, very humble people, because of capitalism, have turned into some of the most narcissist, nasty people you ever meet in your life. And what I mean by that is you have people literally from countries like India, Pakistan, and all that over here. And the first thing that they do is they attract their attention to not physically assaulting, but mentally assaulting you. And it's not all of them. Don't get me wrong. It's not all East Indian people. It's not all Pakistani people. I've met some very nice Pakistani. The man that helped me get this apartment is East Indian, I believe, or Paki, and he's one of the greatest people in the fucking world. So shout out to Muhammad, man, because what I mean. That dude went beyond the calls to help me. You know what I'm saying? He's a great guy to have, and I hope that I work with him in the future one day, maybe doing these shipping container homes, which sadly enough, I'm probably gonna have to get some white support on that. And that's what I was trying to avoid. I spent my whole life working. If you don't know, I worked for a record company. So I worked for a black ran record company, which was Puff. And I wasn't really used to it per se having to kneel or put myself in certain positions where I have to kiss the butt of white folks per se, because I was working for a black company. And the way Puff was like, yo, you kiss my ass. This our show. This is my motherfucking cookie machine. So like I said, don't get me wrong when I talk shit about Puff sometimes. I talk shit about him. That's family. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. Shout out to Sean Prez over doing his thing over right now, Vlog TV. I shared some of those. I'll share some more, but whatever. My boss is actually doing segments. My ex-boss is I would still call him my boss. But he called me his little brother. I call him my big brother. But Sean Prez is doing segments. So when you see that name Sean Prez on Vlog TV, if you frequent Vlog TV, interview conducted by Sean Prez, that's my ex-boss. So tell him you know Davin Lewis or professional. I guarantee you he will validate that. And you can catch him out on his channel, which is Power Moves Makers here on YouTube. And also you can catch him on Wednesdays, which is tonight, on Instagram with Rich Dollars, formerly of Love and Hip Hop. When they do one segment of the Boys Club, when they talk about relationships and things like that. You can also find them here on YouTube at the Boys Club. He's somebody I don't mind promoting. You know what I mean? I'm gonna get into that little aspect in a minute too. But back to China and Africa and all this stuff. I don't have no disregard for the things that go on with people, and I think sometimes Haitians fall in the news of this too. Not American Haitians, but Haitians that are straight from the island. I watched those videos, and I remember down where the Haitian refugees were coming back across. I made a comment to him, and his reply was to give me the info. They need to boss up and stay in their country and build it up. I'm affiliated with him. He has some things going on. You are the first man I thought about, and you will come up you will come up 10 and still do things the way some I will get you to his email. Okay, cool. Yeah, I just and Superstar Bella said they need to boss up and stay in the country and build it up. Davin, before you reach out to the white man, hit me up and let's see the resources I can assist you. Thank you. Yeah, but I think TMH, I think I'm gonna have to do that because see, TMH is different. TMH actually numerous times. TMH helped me get this phone, like this phone that I'm streaming on right now. TMH bought this phone. You understand what I'm saying? It took us a minute to get the motherfucker because of what I'm mentioning right now. You know what I'm saying? Semiconductor shortages or whatever, whatever. But I did my best to assure him from doing lives in the store and everything. Like, nah, ain't no Chuck here. I need a new phone. And that's why I'm able to do this. Now, I didn't get the phone that I wanted. I wanted the S21 Ultra. I ended up settling for the S20 FE, which basically is the S20. You know what I'm saying? Hey, 305 Capricorn. So Yeah, that's a real brother right there. And that's what I meant by there's money out here for folks that's trying to get back on the feet and trying to do everything else. I created an Amazon list and I said, you know what, I'm not even gonna share this shit. You know what I'm saying? Because like for the most part, I don't know what it is, but it's something about me that black people just don't like. Like they like what I have to say, but they don't like me. You know what I'm saying? Because I noticed some guys will get on here, and I'll get back into China and Africa, but I noticed some guys on here. I just have to say this because I have to respect this man because this man has literally donated to me several times, and it's always been $100, $200, $300, whatever, whatever. And I don't know his position in life and everything in depth like that, but I know this man's a stand-up fucking man. I've had two or three other donators that have done the same thing, and maybe not as lucrative, but here's $100, here's $80. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever, whatever. People that have been people rocking with me or whatever, whatever. You know what I'm saying? If you want to too, you can. $ STRINGERBELL 80. A lot of people be like, I don't understand what you're talking about. Well, go back and listen again because I'm not going to talk in the same octave to an audience all the time, talking in the street manner. You understand what I'm saying? Like I can do the street thing every now and then, whatever. But some things that I say, I have to realize a lot of y'all have not been in the same working environment as me and things like that or whatever. So I told Fig that you have a lengthy resume. So I mentioned the names that you've been working for. He said, yes, 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 to forward the info to you. Okay, cool, man. Yeah, just throw it in the comment section or whatever, whatever. I ain't even doing the email. I shut that email down because I had people, black people, coming to my email, making up thing. I had one chick that made up a thing called the Bad Boy Section 8 or something like that. And she had sent me, I put the emails up. She had sent me over 30 plus emails just mad about something. I was like, I don't even know you. I don't even know you. I've never said anything to you. I never even came back to your fucking page and said anything to you. And you definitely had never donated because I asked, I said, have you donated? Like, what are you upset about? And this was just somebody that just didn't like me. They didn't like the way I looked. They didn't think I was deserving. A lot of people think I was spoiled or some shit. I'm just like, yo, you sound wild. And I walk out the door. This is the first thing the police and everybody else see. I don't know what you're talking about, but okay. Anyway, back to China and Africa. The semiconductors shortage has led to the cell phones and everything like that being short or whatever, whatever. So, it is what it is. Moving on, I just want to talk about this last thing before I get off here. I'm only staying on here an hour. Yeah, please hit the like button. I would appreciate that if y'all do that or whatever. YouTube doesn't allow my they don't even allow my whole hold on one second, guys. YouTube doesn't even allow my whole audience that I have. As y'all see, I have 7.5K followers, right? But there's only 7 people in here. You don't think there's something weird about that? Since I've been live with you guys, I've had 5 different people come in and try to attempt to put freaking what's the names on my page. And as you can see, all you have to do is scroll and you can count them for yourself where you see view deleted message. And each one of those deleted messages, I got one, two, three, we got 3 of them here. Usually it's more than that. Usually I don't even mention it. But those are people that are trying to put like a virus on my thing. So what happens is these bots, they'll make sure that you don't get out. You know what I'm saying? Meaning less people will come in. I don't know who it is. Might be somebody black, might be somebody Chinese. I don't know who it is. I really don't care. But there's something about me that people don't like. And I think it's maybe might be possibly because I'm honest. And if you don't like me because I'm honest, well, oh well. I'm not gonna get on a lot of people. I don't come up like that. I don't get on here lying to people or telling people Chuck or whatever. I try to be as transparent as I can. I try to thank people by like I used to make videos. I give you a perfect example. I used to make videos when people would donate to me. I make videos and I'd be like, thank you or whatever, whatever. I had to stop that because there was actually people coming in flagging those videos that was thanking people for donating to me. Like they were trying to discourage people to donate to me. You know what I mean? I'm just like, yo, who does this? And what am I saying that makes you feel that way. And then when I figured it out, I said, "Oh, I'm talking about your favorite YouTuber that's been, getting over on you, taking hundreds and hundreds of dollars." I had another man come on my page and say, "Yeah, I had a guy that I was supporting for a while. People are mad when they cannot control you." And that's the other thing too, superstar Bella. I can't be controlled. I ain't never been a nigga that can be controlled. Even when I worked for Puff and them, I wasn't a nigga that could be controlled like that. Like, fuck, because I was coming from the street element. So it was like, man, nigga, fuck you talking to? You know what I'm saying? Even the dudes I was working with and working for when I was in the street game, they ain't talk to me like that. So you definitely ain't gonna talk to me like that. And I just have a real, f you. It is what it is attitude. I've always been like that. You know what I mean? Ain't nothing gonna change that. Ain't nothing gonna change that. I could be 80 years old. I still have the same attitude. You know what I mean? Like I've been around real bosses. I know real boss dudes when I hear them. And a lot of people be like, "Well, won't you ask some of the rich friends of yours?" Because they ain't how this work. Rich friends only help out other rich friends. If you didn't know, it's a little secret. Tell me somebody in the industry if I'm wrong. You think I'm lying? And you notice during the pandemic, these motherfuckers were buying their friends gifts. Oh, I gifted so and so a new Maybach. Or I gifted so and so a trip to here or I gifted so and so. Just peep the game. That's what y'all got to do. And like y'all niggas don't be peeping the game and the chunk. And a lot of times y'all be participating in the shit. It's sad, man. But YouTube is basically feeding off the weaknesses of people and the material that they put up. And if you don't join in and do the same thing and talk about people or talk about a death, evidently that's a big thing on here too. If you talk about somebody's death, or you guarantee thousands of views. I don't want my channel to be based on talking about people's deaths or talking about how they got killed or, you know what I'm saying, just consistently all the fucking time. Like, it's just boring. It's depressing. I suffer from depression. I suffer from anxiety. So staying away from things like that is the best thing for me. So sometimes if I don't put up a story that y'all think I should be putting up or whatever, and I mean you want me to do something, write in the comment. But if I feel like it's just a little too much, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. Next thing I want to talk about was somebody wrote in my comment section, they got retracted. And I just want to say this to you. First of all, fuck you. You've never donated to me, okay? And that doesn't mean that anybody that hasn't donated to me is not welcome here, or anybody that doesn't have any intention of donating to me is not welcome here. That doesn't mean that. What I mean is, don't you sit there and say some shit to me and then turn around and cry like a baby when I say something back to you and then try to flag my shit. That's being a punk. And I'm gonna tell you what this person said. This person had been following me or whatever, and they called me. I want to say it right, a guala guala. That's what you called me, a guala guala. He ain't black. He a guala guala. Tell the rest of the gualas to help him. That's what you wrote in my comment section. It's still in the YouTube studio, and I was just like, yo, word. That's how you feel, huh? Common sense, book sense, street smart, Davin Lewis. That's why they fear you. And that's why we rock. Wow. Thank y'all for that is a beautiful comment. He said common sense plus book smarts plus street smarts equal Davin Lewis. And that's why they fear you. And that's why we rock with you. Thank you very much. Because a lot of y'all are consistent and y'all do be here day after day with me. And that's a fucking truth. 305 Capricorn is another one of them. Anton Queen is definitely another one of them. Like, and there's others in here that come here that may not be here right now, but they do. Patrice Gardner is another one. Always had nice things to say. Annette, what can I say bad about her? What am I gonna say bad about Annette? I wish a motherfucker would bother Annette. Nigga, I come to your house with 3 pistols for Annette. Please believe that. But yeah, no, it's thank you for that comment, TMH. I appreciate that. But for somebody to write some shit like that, like I've been noticing that more and more and more too. Like even with that goofy Cynthia G, she has a whole and the other one, Chris Logic is the other one. Both of these girls have a whole diatribe on that page. Fuck it, I go another hour because this is gonna take me at least 20 minutes to talk about this. This is shit that I be getting confused about. This is what I mean by it's only money, and the only thing that seemingly that a lot of people of color donate to is drama. This chick Cynthia G sits on motherfucking her page on a daily basis and calls white women Becky and all this other crazy, corny high school shit, right? Let Becky take care of them. Your preference. This is what, and then she'll pick random white girls that you can look. Let me tell you something about white women. All right. I grew up around a lot of white women, Italian women, Greek women. I speak about it all the time. There are white women, yes, that will sleep with a man of color, whether he be black or Latino. They will sleep with a man of color, but they ain't marrying you. They ain't marrying you. They ain't gonna marry you. They will joke with their friends about how they slept with you, and even if it was good, they will not marry you. This much is true. But that doesn't mean that you can use that as motherfucking ammunition because, like I said the other day, and I'll say it once more, and you can look this up for the demographics. Only about out of 62% of the white population, only 10% less than it's 11%, but less than 10% of them date and marry interracially. 10% out of 62% of the population. That means the bulk of them choose to marry other white people. And I'm talking about all ethnicities. I'm talking about whether you be Indian, Mexican, whatever the fuck. They marry their own. Where if you look at the skew of the most, and this is in the demographics, the most interracial relationships and the most women within the relationship that seek a partner other than themselves is Asian women. Asian women have it's defined as an interracial relationship because their spouse is white and they're Asian. So they have the largest influx of freaking women that get married to a spouse that's outside the origin of their culture. It's not even black men or black women. It's not even Latin men or Latin women. You can look those numbers up for yourself. And the minute of departure and arrival to the land of milk and honey, they forget where they just departed from. That part, that exactly. A lot of motherfuckers do that. A lot of people get on here on YouTube and see, I ain't never changed. That's one thing. I get back into what I was saying in a second, but I'm glad you brought that up. Anybody that know when I first started this channel, that's the first thing I said. I said, I ain't going no fucking way. I said, even when I get right, you know what I'm saying? I'm not leaving. So don't y'all worry about it. Cause I know a lot of people was thinking, okay, we gonna get this nigga right. And once he get right, he ain't gonna be here no more. I never did that. I kept to my word, and like I get bothered by that when certain people just don't recognize that and be like, oh, okay, this nigga keeping it a buck, you know. Sometimes it's just this is one of the reasons why I watch your channel. You articulate excellent. Thank you very much. Yeah, a lot of people they feel I guess maybe so threatened by that, you know. But I never left. I always kept my word, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. Now, through all that, I had some people that are no longer here that didn't keep their word. And that's what I got upset about, whether it be through the donation situation or whatever, whatever. And then one night, like I said, and I'll say it again, I've caught like four people talking about, oh, I ain't got it like that, nah, 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 blah, blah, blah. I said, okay, that's cool. I ain't mad about that. But if you do that, make sure that you know that eyes are always watching. There's a brother to come over here and check me. His name is the LA Belizean. You know what I'm saying? I ran into him last night over Red Supreme's channel. It was all love. You know what I'm saying? All love. You know what I mean? How people be out here, man, just, I don't know, capping and clacking. But back to the white girls. A lot of white women will pretend like, they want to be with you, but they don't. And there's a lot of black dudes that do the same thing to these white girls. So it's on an equal plateau because I've seen it before. But out here where I live at in Connecticut, that's a regular thing because most of the state is white. So it has to do with demographic, not preference. And that's what I meant. Most of the state is white. You understand what I'm saying? Now, it's been inclusive now of Latino and black too. But the two standing populations that are the most in Connecticut are black and white. It's always been like that. And then the third coming in as close tie would be Latinos. And it's sparse depending on where you go with Latinos. You know what I mean? You can, in that order, you will always be a bad boy for life. Thank you so much. And so, like a lot of relationships that happen in Connecticut. I'm just speaking for Connecticut. It's very different than New York, even though they're so close. It's very different. It's always been about interracial relationships because those are your options. You can go to some towns in Connecticut and literally there are only maybe 30 people that are of color in one vicinity. You understand what I'm saying? And so your dating choices are elaborate to that. What I think Cynthia G was talking about when she makes a mistake at is she tries to put these men into these categories of like, okay, you said this is your dating preference or whatever, but these women, let me show an example of one person and show what she really thinks. Well, you're talking to a girl that's 9 times out of 10 is 20 something years old. Most of the time I see they haven't found themselves yet. You're not talking to any grown women, or you're talking to disgruntled women. Like she has this one clip that she plays on the beginning of her video, and this chick, and you're not even paying attention to the obvious. First of all, the white chick is sitting in the black dude's car. Let's start there. She's sitting in his car. Okay. Second of all, the dude, he's not the most attractive of the bunch. Meaning, like, I'm not, no, no cap, but it's just like you could have had a better example. Is that better? You know what I'm saying? And so, this chick who seemed like pure Euro trash. This what the small part. She seemed like Euro trash. She sits there and says, "Listen, believe me, it's no prize bringing a man of color home." Blah, 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 blah. And I said, "Okay, well, that's your family, your Euro trash family, you know." And maybe that's how they feel. Now, my personal experience, and the exes that I've had that have been Italian or Greek girls, and in one case, a Jewish girl from a Fula, Israel, not one that was the yarmulke, but from a Fula, Israel, who's Turkish background. What I found was I was very much invited into their family. Um, to be quite honest with you, I've sat and had dinner with them. This is real. I can get some of these people on camera for you if you like. But I've sat and had dinner in white households. I've sat and had Christmases in white households. I've had white households buy things for me, help me out, etc., etc., etc. Is that my preference? No. My ex-girlfriend was black. My daughter's mother, God bless my daughter's life, and RP to her, she was Haitian. She was black as this motherfucking cover you see right here. You see what I'm saying? So I've never had a preference. It's just what came my way and what Lord saw for me. Now, what confuses me about Cynthia G is she throws all these shots calling white girls Becky and your preference and women of no color, which is the dumbest term I've ever heard in my life. There's another one, guys. You see that one? See that B right there? Scroll all the way down to the bottom. See that VUM dot ONG? That's another block. That's another one right there. See what I mean? Like, but it's okay for that to happen with you too. Give me 1 second here. Let me block this motherfucker. How to use this channel. Y'all see that orange B right there at the bottom of the screen? That's another one. Those are bots. Those bots are, because that means that I'm going into the algorithm and that my what's the name that I'm live is going out to people. Now the funny thing about it is people that put that shit up there, these are people that are doing that on purpose. That means somebody's watching me right now and they're intentionally putting those bots on my page. Teammates Global, thank you very much for your generosity to Davin. He's about business. I'm so happy he's back on his feet. I'm getting there, but I'm not back on my feet. I'm not definitely not back on my feet. There's so many things I need. I mean, I need the simplest things as more pots and pans. I need a TV for sure because I my eyes are getting fucked up from watching like video and shit on my phone because it's so small of a screen. Even with my old phone, it's like it's too small of a screen. Which hold on 1 second. Let me take care of that. Don't go nowhere, y'all. Okay, I'm back. I wanted to get this out the way. I know what you're saying. I'm back here. So I wanted to get this out the way. This is the old phone. As you can see, this is the old phone. Now, I want to open this up. Let me break the screen up so we get this shit out the way. Because somebody wanted to say some bullshit to me the other day about that. I was like, these motherfuckers are crazy. As you can see, the 1221, I don't know how well y'all can see that, but there was something that came in here at 1221, right? So let me show you a little bit better so I can show you. Because niggas is like, ah, that nigga ain't get no new phone. He just, niggas is crazy, son. Like I'd be wondering what's wrong with people, like for real. Here we go. So let me go to my text messages. So as you can see right here, uh, yeah, it's a perfect person to use right here. As you can see right here, the last, I don't know how well y'all guys could see that, but the last text was sent when? December 9th, because that was my last text. The phone was switched over. I don't know how well y'all can see that. The phone was switched over December 10th. See that right there? Here, I'll show you another one. I was me trying to get my what's the name there. Here's me talking to my girl Lynette. See the date on that? So the phone was switched over. All right. This is the old phone right here. Okay. It's the old phone. See it? Same case, everything. All right, so we ended that one. So what the fuck you think I'm streaming on, you goofy? You know what I mean? For that motherfucker to put that in there. Like I said, I'm honest, man. So that sometimes it work against me. It is what it is. But just to get that out the way, this is the old phone. All right, this is the old joint, which I'm going to be still using because I own this phone now. So I'm going to be using this phone as a second camera. Still got a good camera. It's got a 4K, but ain't got a 4K like this camera. This camera's something else. I'm still learning how to work it. This phone right here is everything I wanted except for two things. One, it ain't got 8K video, and two, the battery is 500 mAh less than what I wanted. But I can live with that. You know what I'm saying? Because that 8K, after you do the rendering, it's only gonna come down to like 4K and 60 frames anyway. Because there's no such thing as real heavy 8K right now at 60 frames per second. You're only getting 8K. I think it's like less than 30 frames per second, which don't make that much of a difference. We have a lot more work to do. Devin, let me get your P.O. box so we can have some items sent to you without disclose your address. Thank you. And that's what I was scared of. I ain't scared of from you, TMH. I was just scared of from other people. What I do is I'm just gonna go ahead. Yeah, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it is. It's different. AK is different. TMH, I'm gonna put in on the end of this, I'm gonna add a couple more things to it, and I'm gonna put up that what's the name list because I know real ones like you will. And I ain't friends with people just because they give me money. You understand? Make sure it clear that. Only thing I'm saying is I just saw people previously say they ain't had nothing to donate or previously said they would donate. And I'm trying to emphasize that people get it. And then I would see them like literally. I saw somebody on Lord Jamal's podcast that followed me, said they ain't have it right now. When they get it, they get it. And they donated $200 to Lord Jamal. What the fuck do Lord Jamal need $200 for? That nigga paid. He was in one of the dopest groups ever. He get residuals from his records. Like, are you kidding me? You serious? Like, that's the part that bothers me. So I was like, let me get that person out of here. That other person that used to be in here that was talking about her degrees and all that bullshit, whatever. Bitch, I went to college too, and you ain't that successful. Um, she got found out. The reason she turned on me because she was over at another podcaster who I like this podcast, so I ain't gonna put them out because it seemed like I'm insulting them. But she was over at their page and donated $75. And I'm like, you over my page every night. Uh-huh. I'm like, you over my page every time I go live. And then I started figuring out shit. I said, oh, these are people that are coming to the page because the pure simple fact they just want to fuck with you. They want to see what you talking about. They want to grab what you talking about or whatever, make their own little talking points or whatever. You ain't doing that with me. Mm-mm. So I get you fuck up on out of here. I don't care about if you want to help financially or not. That's your decision. But what you're not going to do is insult me. You understand what I'm saying? Or lie. You know what I mean? If you don't have no intentions of doing something, just say you don't. And I can live with that. I really can. I'm so Gucci with that. Back to the white girls. Cynthia G and this other one, Chris Logic, they have these diatribes about white girls and calling them Becky and making fun of them and all kinds of stuff like that and telling how they lower themselves when they date men of color or whatever. I don't see how a woman would lose if you was dating LeBron James or many of these litany of hundreds, if not thousands of basketball players and sports players in every genre of sports you could think of that are making millions, if not multi-million dollars a year. And most of the time they pick a black wife. This is a fact. They did a little thing about the NBA, and most of those NBA players, including Steph Curry, who his wife just come out and talk about, we have an open relationship, which I'm sure that was her idea. You know what I mean? It's cheaper to keep her. It's cheaper to keep her. As Will Smith said too. It's cheaper to keep her. Kanye gonna find that shit out too. It was cheaper to keep her. Please believe that shit. That divorce setback something else. But anyway, these women, they sit up, they go on these tirades attacking white women, but at the same time they promoting dating white men. So somewhere along the way, I don't think people are thinking, or maybe people are not as coherent as I think they are. Well, let's break this down and unpack it real quick. White men make little white girls. Am I right? Let me say that for one more time for you. White men make little white babies, including little white girls. That means that that white man and that white girl is a byproduct of that white man. You understand what I'm saying? Just as much as a black man makes little black girls. You understand what I'm saying? So we got two follies here. So with that being said, if you are promoting dating a white man, but tearing down mixed kids, because that's the other thing too. Cynthia G had a post the other night talking about, are biracials better with white mothers? Well, chick, if you're promoting dating a white man, that means you're gonna have a biracial kid too. So now we have to ask the question, is your biracial kid better with their white father? Didn't think about that, did you? Why, I don't know. And there are women that are actually embracing this ideology. Like, you're gonna you're jealous of white. Oh, I won't say jealous. You don't like white women, because jealous is a wrong. Because I met some ugly ass white women. Trust me on this one. Ugly, pasty pale, this pole white trash, trailer trash, bad DNA, local cousin fuckers. You know what I'm saying? Nah, we're not talking about them. And white people don't even like them. What I'm talking about is, you're saying that you don't like white women and you don't like men of color, but there's got to be something behind that. And this is all, in fact, for you to get you a white man. But if you have a white man and you have sex with him, and I'm assuming that that white man at some point or another is going to want to have a kid, that means now that your child, the same children that you're making fun of, biracial kids, is now biracial, right? So that would mean at that point, you now have a biracial child, and the same children that you were previously making fun of for black men having, which you come from a black man. You see what I'm saying? And people are donating thousands of dollars. This is the best con I've ever heard in my life. This is a con. You understand? I'm even going further to say that black male bashing online is nothing but a con. It's a con in the skies of fucking capitalism to make money. And I'm seeing Cynthia G collect thousands of dollars from giving this skewed ass fucking information that makes no sense if you were intelligent enough to look at it. Okay, she's making fun of biracial kids, but at the same time promoting that black women should get with white men exclusively. Which, in fact, if they get with these men, especially Chris Logic, she's the dumbest one of all of them. She's the best example because in her community section, she has a whole fucking thing of black and white couples that got together. And trust me when I tell you this, a lot of the women, I'm sorry, if they were white, they wouldn't have been that much of a loss. That's why sometimes you could date a white girl and white men will look at you and be like, I wouldn't have dated that bitch anyway. Yeah, good luck, pal. You know what I'm saying? These women that these guys were dating, what I noticed was, yeah, they had something in common. They both looked like they were nerds. They both look like they were dry as fuck. And what I mean by dry is they don't have any personality. They kind of like go with the accolade of what they think society is supposed to be, the picket fence and all that shit or whatever. They really believe that shit. And so they live their whole entire life like that until they find out all that shit was bullshit. These are usually for people that have never had much and never been around much. So this is why they think like that. And so When I look at somebody like Cynthia G, who nothing about Cynthia G says more than ever $70,000 at tops a year. Okay. When you look at somebody like that, you really got to start looking at the fact that these women are trying to escape poverty. And they're going to say whatever they got to say, even if it doesn't make sense. And I'm going to run that by you one more time. You make fun of little white girls or white women, and you talk about your preference and as an attack on men of color and all that shit. And I'm not promoting either or, date whoever the fuck you want to date. I don't care. But at the same time, you turn around and promote, especially when it comes to Chris Logic and Cynthia G, dating white men is the better preference. So that's your preference, right? So you're telling me your preference overshadows my preference, if that was my preference. But I don't have a preference. I date whoever fuck like me. But your preference, and that could be the blackest of black or the whitest of white, just to underline that. Because my daughter's mother was as black as this motherfucking sheet right here. God bless my daughter. And my daughter came out like that too. My daughter was darker than me. That was damn sure. And I had no problem with. She was a beautiful little girl. R.I.P. Amani Katia Lewis. But my daughter's mother blacker than the ace of spades and was beautiful. Beautiful. Ain't no other. I've very few, except for maybe 5 or 6 women that I've met in my life that I could be like, you are just utterly fucking beautiful. And it didn't have to do she was beautiful because she was dark skinned, because she's not the first dark skinned woman that I dated. I've dated 4 or 5, if not many, of dark skinned black women. So don't go there with me. Dark skinned black women are some of the most beautiful women, just like a lot of white men will think that pasty pale white women that look like they're from Winterville and fucking Lord of the Rings or some shit. They think those women are beautiful. And I think it's the purity in them. The same thing with women towards the men. A lot of white women, they will go for the darkest of dark black men. And I noticed that a lot of black men, if they date interracially, they'll go for the pastiest or palest of white woman. I guess it's all about perception, I guess, or something or another. The confusion once again comes in. If you're promoting dating white men make white babies and they make white little girls. So in fact, you're promoting yourself to a white man, but you hate the product that he makes, which is a little white girl. So wouldn't that stand forth and say that you might be kind of like in a pivy of as far as decision making? It really sounds like neurotic if you really think about it. Followers of those YouTubers do not have critical thinking skills that will make them ask questions you ask. Think it for yourself. Work for many people watch YouTube to escape work. Yeah, but they do it to escape work, but TMH, they donating thousands. This one was able to put a down payment on a house and had no financial hardships earlier, meaning she wasn't homeless, she wasn't in dire straits or anything like that. She just gets on and she runs with a diatribe, and she does it daily. Even earlier on when she was with Boyce Watkins, because Boyce Watkins put her on. That's why it's another thing that's kind of insulting, because you insulted Boyce Watkins. Now, I don't agree with everything Boyce Watkins says, but I like Boyce Watkins for his gumption and his consistency. And there was one time that I really didn't agree, and on behest of well, I ain't gonna go too far, but on the behest of others, I watched Dr. Boyce Watkins. I can keep that a buck. I even told him that. I said, I watched you because I didn't trust you at first. Now I see that a lot of people may not dislike the fact that he's very adamant, and he's adamant in his convictions not only, but he's adamant in as far as his consistency. Now, for example, sometimes I don't care for what Vicky has to say, but I had to sit back one day and I listened to everything Vicky said, and I said, okay, I get it. I might not like the way you deliver it or the way you particularly put it out there. I think sometimes it comes across as you kind of like scantily clad and kind of like trying to sexually indulge somebody to come in and listen to you. And I understand you're a woman, but make no mistake about it, Boyce Watkins on his channel put this chick on. And he also subsequently got rid of her motherfucking ass. You know what I'm saying? As he should. Shout out to Boyce Watkins for that shit. You know what I'm saying? So he got rid of her. She went on, and people followed her over for whatever reason to her channel. But the bulk of her motherfucking population, the bulk of our people got exposed to her was because of a black man. And now she's sitting on a channel talking down on black men, but it was a black man that put her on. And this ain't the first time that's happened. It's happened numerous times. You know, Kanye was used like this by Amber Rose. You know, in many effects, I would say that Chris Brown at the time was a bigger star than Rihanna. At the time, he was a bigger star than Rihanna. Once that situation happened with them, which I now come to find out is because of a rumor that was going around about Rihanna and that she had herpes. That's on my channel. That was a vivid rumor that she had herpes. You know what I'm saying? That will cause you to bite a bitch. Herpes for life. A gift that keeps on giving. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it was just wild to me that I see this woman, not only her, but there's several other ones, even the supporters that she had come on in these lives and these she does Zoom meetings a lot with, all the unfuckables. That's what I like to call them, the unfuckables. Cynthia G and the unfuckables. Dun, dun, dun. Because none of these women are attractive. Like, it has nothing to do with you being black or preference. It's just that you're not attractive to everybody, you know? Now, I'm not going to sit here and say Cynthia G is ugly per se. I think she could do some hacks and make herself look a little bit prettier, but it's her attitude that makes her look ugly. You're ugly with inside. You understand? And as much as you try to throw these little diatribes out, they're all a front because something within you, you got a low self-esteem somewhere. And somebody burnt you very, very hard. You don't just come to that conditioning and that type of diatribe overnight. That takes years and years and years and years of picking the wrong man and getting screwed over. You understand what I'm saying? So your real issue, and to put that in more perspective, your baby father, which is another confusing thing. Your baby father, who everything about him says hood booger. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you could look from a mile away, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that nigga was in the streets." You know what I'm saying? Like, you just know that nigga was in the streets. You know, what I'm saying? He looked like he got a couple bids behind him. This is the man she chose to have a baby by, a man that had 4 kids by 3 different women, and she knew about it. But yet and still, she chose as a grown woman, and at the time she probably was 35, 36, somewhere around there when she got pregnant, maybe a little bit younger, 34 at the tops. She chose at that time to lay down with that man without protections and the contraceptive options that she had for a man that had 4 kids already by 3 different women. And she said, you know what, I'm gonna be different. He ain't gonna come in me, he ain't gonna ejaculate in me. And what happened? She had a side baby. I still raise the question. I don't know why no motherfucker body else has. If you out here promoting the abortion of black babies, see this the situation is really personal with her because now she's a single mother. And as much as she don't want to admit that, or much as she try to avoid talking about it, or as much as she likes to avoid talking about that little side baby that's never on camera. You understand what I'm saying? How come the side baby ain't on camera? Because that's what the baby is. It's a side baby, meaning that baby ain't intentionally supposed to be here. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not joking your baby because that's punk shit. I'm not joking no baby. God bless that baby. All right. But my point is, who the fuck are your kids gonna play with if you want all the black kids eradicated? Who's gonna be their spouse? Like, what are we doing here? And more fundamentally, how come you don't call your baby daddy out on the channel? I will never hear you talk about your baby daddy. I don't Not only do I never hear you talk about your baby daddy, I never hear you talk about that side baby that you got. And how come you didn't abort your side baby? If you promote the other women, they should abort their kids. This is about you. It's about her. And people don't see that. Side baby by a YouTube follow. Let's call it a sub baby. That's right, TMH. A sub baby. Oh shit, I like that one. She had a sub baby by a subscriber. A sub baby by a subscriber. Yes, yes, yes. Claro que sí. Esto sabe, ¿no? Esta puta sucia la morena. It's crazy because like you never talk about your side baby. You never talk about any of your previous relationships. You never show what led you up. You don't just get online and start talking and degrading men of color unless you've had some experience. Y'all please hit that like button too if y'all wouldn't. If you like to donate, it's $ STRINGERBELL80, Stringer Bell 80. The links in the description box. I know I should go harder with that, but it's just like, you know what? I just do this because this is where my heart's at. Vitamin C pill or Haas. I've been drinking hot tea. I got tea somewhere in here. I think I left it in the kitchen, but I've been drinking tea. I have so much tea because what's the name? One of my friends, they know I like to drink tea. I'm gonna show you guys too. I swear to God, before I get off. All my friends, they know I like to drink tea. I usually drink coffee, but coffee, let me tell you, coffee compelled with like my violent outbursts because I keep it a buck. I have violent outbursts. If many of y'all been following me for a minute, y'all know that. And like when I get violent, I get different violent. Like you know what I mean? Like you're getting hit with something, possibly hurt. You know what I mean? It is what it is. I think I've proven that enough times now. But coffee induces that. You know what I mean? Coffee makes you very irritable if you drink a lot of it. Coffee makes you very violent. It induces violence if you have it, and it's not good for your nervous system in a whole entirety. So I stopped drinking coffee as it was, and I just started drinking tea again. But a lot of people that know I drink tea, one of my friends, he bought me like 5 different boxes of tea. I've got like this prickly pain. He bought me the good shit too, not that cheap shit. He bought me the good stuff, like the stuff, like I got this one stuff that's in a can. They cost like $10 and some change per can. I was like, God damn, what kind of tea is this? The best tea I've ever had in my life. It's a vanilla Kimura. Then I have a maca. Then I have another one. That one's by Puka. Puka is like the best tea ever. If you ever see it spelled Pukka. Puka. If you see that, get it. Trust me, it is the best. It don't matter what brand it. I mean, excuse me, what flavor it is. It is the best tea ever. Pukka. Puka. It's an Indian tea. Um, I've had that one. And there's another one I have in there too. What's the other one? Tanzo. Tazo. Tanzo. Those are the best three. The JT Tea Company, I think that's what they're called for the can. The best teas you ever have in your life. Back to Cynthia G and all that shit, and there's people that follow her to think like this, and then I'm gonna move on. You cannot sit here and get online daily and talk about men of color and talk about why you think that babies should be aborted and all this shit like that or whatever, while you're promoting white men and that should be your choice for dating, but yet and still making fun of white men's daughters, especially a lot of these white men, because you know they do make up 42% of single households in white America. If y'all didn't know that, 42% of white women in America are now single mothers. She leaves that out of the demographics, which has increased more so than any other group faster within the past 25 years. She leaves that out too. I'll say for you again, even with the single motherhood with black females, which is extremely high, whatever, you know what I'm saying? We got our issues. And even with Latin women who sit at 61% of single families in America. Now, I encourage you to look this up. It's in the CDC demographics. You can also find it at Pew Research. You can also find it at the WGYU website. You can find it at all three of those websites. These demographics I'm spewing to you. You can go look right now. White women had the quickest increase of single parenthood than any other women in this country at a faster rate than any of these women. The depletion of single motherhood with black women took somewhere over well over 60 to 70 years. With Latin women, it took well over 30 to 40 years. And we're talking about the migration all the way back from the high migrations from all the way back in the 1940s on into the 1950s up until now. Okay? But white women from the 1980s specifically, and I always find this date appealing because it's right after 1981, 82, when these abortion rights started coming into full fledged. Because a lot of people got to realize these were white and black women that were at the front lines of of that discussion where they were asking to get abortion. These were black and white women. If you go back and look at the highlights of the pictures, you will see nothing but black and white women at the helm of this argument at the time. And I'm not blaming either or, but I'm just talking about the repercussions that follow since. Well, These white women that are out there now that are single white parents, they don't talk about them as much as they talk about black and Latin women being single parents. When they try to equate black and Latin women with single parenthood, they always want to throw in welfare, living in the worst places, living in poverty, da 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 da. They don't talk about people, they don't talk about places like Oslo, Kentucky, which has been rated the most, oh, you heard me, Oslo, Kentucky. Oslo, Kentucky has been rated in this country, it had the most poverty of any county. This is including outside of West Virginia, any county in the United States. Okay. Any county in the United States, they had the last time that they did a fucking population count, they had three people that lived in this whole entire town that were minorities. One of them was an Indian, and the other two were black, and they were from different counties. They just moved there. What the hell they moved there for? I don't know, but they were living in poverty too. So this is a whole white town that includes single motherhoods, includes poverty, includes the majority of the population over there. Oslo, Kentucky. That's spelled OSLO. Oslo, Kentucky. Take your time, look it up. It'll come up as soon as you look it up. It'll come up the most poorest location for whites in the United States. Well, there's not just places like there's not just Oslo, Kentucky. There's thousands of places in rural white America. We got some of them here in Connecticut. There's millions of places like this. I ain't gonna say millions, thousands of places like this all across the country that have poor whites or whatever. So when she tries to point you to white men being the better cause, I'm like, well, what kind of white men are we talking about? Then they want to use a black man's terminology, being Kevin Samuels, as their ammo. Well, these white men are high value men. Da, 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 da. She put up some basketball player, said he was worth $130 million. LeBron James worth almost $1 billion. So she lowballing y'all. In fact, even the mid tier basketball player, because this white guy she was pointing to was a basketball player. He was one of the basketball players I had never even heard of before either. He's from like one of the countries in Prague or some shit like that. You know, they go over there and get basketball players from the international leagues and shit like that. If you didn't know, and she had put up there because he had married this frugly looking. The chick was frugly looking. You know what I mean? Frumpy, frugly, or whatever. And this is why I say this all the time. I believe in my head, in my mind, there's a segment, I want to underline segment, of black women that are actually matriculated themselves into what formerly you would call the perturbed, obnoxious, um, spinster looking, what else could I add to this? Spinster, frumpy, perturbed, tight ass, just otherwise unfriendly woman. A lot of women have adapted this personality and actually become the living embodiment of it from the way they dress and everything else. And most men of color, they ain't attracted to that. Now, I'm attracted to a woman that dresses subtly. I'm attracted to a woman that dresses nice. But when you come out and you look like on a day-to-day basis, you look like the fucking librarian, um, there's not many men that are attracted to that. I'm sorry, ladies, but there are some men that are attracted to that in the white world. And the reason they're like that is because the pure simple fact they look at you as under them. You understand? And a lot of white women understand this too. And that's why a lot of white women have the phrase a failed white man. I want you to look that term up. Failed white man. Look that term up. You will see that term was adopted by feminists against white men. See, Cynthia G and a lot of these motherfuckers are on here advocating for this type of shit. They're not letting you on to the full picture. You understand what I'm saying? They're giving you pieces of the picture and then they're delivering it to you in their own diatribe. And then they're trying to look like they're undefeatable. Bitch, I can defeat you in 4 minutes with your information. You understand what I'm saying? The term high value is an anti Black American. It reeks of slavery and the auction block in Charleston, South Carolina. Yes, motherfucking man. Thank you, superstar Bella. Factory. Factory. That's what it boils down to. It boils down to that's a high value nickel. He'll serve you for at least 30 years before he clock out and fall over. He'll make sure that he does everything. Look at the boy's teeth right here. He's 9 years old. They'll lift his gums up and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Look at the height on him. He's stern to grow at least 6'1". That's exactly what they did. And these women don't understand. And that's why I compare Cynthia G. And she even looks like her. If you ever seen that movie Django Unchained, remember that scene when they was with Django and they was at the Mandingo fight? And you remember that black woman that was Calvin Candy's whore? That woman, when she grabbed that bottle of champagne, she looked at Django, she grabbed that bottle of champagne, she said, and grabbed it and whistled him. I on the sofa on the chase. I'm over here with White Massa. No. That's what she was saying. That's Cynthia G in that movie scene. That's Cynthia G. And that was back when Superstar Bella, the slave days. When I saw and I heard this motherfucker, that fucking flaming flamingo. Esto sabe, la flamingo, la puta sucia, because that's what you are. Fucking Kevin Samuels, that other fraud. That's another fraud right there. There's a lot of fraud niggas on here collecting money, man, but y'all won't let real niggas get nothing. That's just crazy to me. She's exactly right. Someone with no common sense to keep their knees together. Ain't that the truth? Cynthia G should have kept her legs together. I think she would have had a totally different diatribe if she wouldn't have went and had that side baby unprotected. But you fucked up on your own. You went and had a baby. You went and had sex, first of all. You 30-something years old. You know the setback. You got girlfriends at that point. You got nieces and nephews. You got a sister. You understand what I'm saying? So you know the setback, what happens if you have sex unprotected. What happens, Cynthia? There's a possibility of a man ejaculating you and having a baby. And instead of sitting there and being real and saying to yourself, you know what? He's just right. I'm fucking up. Instead of taking that, you don't want to take the accountability, and instead you want to take your non-compatibility, excuse me, your ration of not blaming yourself and project it on other people when everybody ain't like Robert Perkins. I don't have three baby mamas, and I damn sure don't have 4 babies. You understand what I'm saying? I couldn't even imagine having a baby right now. You know what I mean? Especially in the situation I'm in. I'm trying to get right. So at the time, you wasn't in the best of situations either. I remember. So when I see somebody like Cynthia G sit back and say, "Oh, well, we got to start dating these black men," and throwing out all these little skewed demographics, like she back on Candyland at the mansion, grabbing her bottle of champagne. I will never forget that clip. If y'all have ever seen Django Unchained, that scene when that woman grabbed that bottle of champagne and looks at Django after the man has said, "And give free man Django whatever he wants." She missed the point. Give free man Django. She was jealous of Django because he was free. And in reality, she was still a slave. She was still a slave. You got to remember that, because at the end of the movie, if y'all remember, they were coming back from Calvin Candy's funeral. And what did Samuel L. Jackson's character say to her? "Go ahead, Sheba, you go on and help her." He said, "Cora, make us some coffee." She said, "Go ahead, Sheba, you go ahead and help her." She was back into her slave position and not the whore anymore. See, that's what you got to understand. And in the normal world, that's what's going to happen to motherfucking Cynthia G. She going to be back serving coffee. You go on and help her now. Chris Logic, you go ahead and help her now. That's cool. Chris Logic is Cora Lee. Cynthia G is Sheba. The nerve and the gall of these motherfuckers. I swear to God. You know? I've talked about that previously, so I'm not going to bring that up, how their diatribes are putting me at risk or whatever. And I put up a video yesterday, and I remember, because one of her diatribes is that black men don't protect women of color. And I said, nah, you mean these punk ass motherfuckers that y'all got out here don't protect women of color? Because I know some dudes, including myself, if you whooping up on a woman in front of me, and I ain't talking about like, I'm not getting involved in some shit like, you know what I mean? Your chick hits you and you slap the back and that's the end of it. I'm not getting in that. But if you wailing on your chick like a motherfucking dude, you know what I'm saying? And I see that shit, I don't give a fuck what color you are. And son, if I can't beat you, I'm hitting you with something. I can't beat everybody, but I damn sure can beat you, if you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna hit you with something, my nigga. Like, you're not gonna do that in front of me. And so in the video, these brothers is just riding. It looked like the Brooklyn. It looked like Brooklyn to me. It sounded like Brooklyn because of the talk. You know what I'm saying? Because I know the talk. We talk different in different boroughs, depending on where you were living at. Like, Queens people don't talk like Brooklyn people. Brooklyn people don't talk like Bronx people. Bronx people don't talk like people from far Rockaway, etc., etc., etc. But we all got that camaraderie when it comes to this New York as itself, if that makes sense. It's no different than somebody on, Chicago, wherever. Y'all see that right there in the gray? Y'all see the next Russian name that came up? This one is VUM.NGO. Do y'all see it? So all those listening, I want y'all to scroll all the way down to the bottom of the chat. Y'all see that new one that just popped up? It's right after Antoine Queen's comment. Bella, you're right about that. Check. That's facts. See that VUM? That's a virus. That virus means that what's the name is going out. So we got to do this, and let me take a snapshot of it. So that's the fifth one in here now. Those are put up there because they stop you from being in the algorithm. I watched the whole video on this. So what we do is we report them. Unwanted spam. We do that, and they're gone. That will go on all day if I'm live. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. So y'all seen 5 of them in here now. I'm not making this shit up. I keep telling y'all, I don't have no interest in lying to niggas. Like, lying, you got to keep that shit up. You tell the truth, embarrassing or not, or whatever, you get it out of here. That's how I got this channel started, by telling the truth. I was like, yo, nigga, I'm fucked up. I'm homeless. This is what it is. I used to do a joint day to day. My longtime followers remember it was live from the homeless shelter, G. Factory. You know what I mean? I don't have no reason to lie. And I don't hate black women, obviously. You know what I'm saying? Obviously. You know what I mean? But we gotta have some motherfucking compromise. Because if you keep on at this motherfucking effort, I'm gonna finish the story in a minute. But if you keep on at this motherfucking trajectory, it's gonna end up that everybody either the whole culture as you once knew is gonna be totally eradicated because of lack of not only camaraderie, but lack of um of copulating together, from lack of women reaching conception points. You understand what I'm saying? It's crazy. And black women already have a problem, and Latin women have a problem with conception rates because of the pure simple fact. I don't know if you know it or not, guys, but a lot of times infant mortality is a big issue with women of color because of the pure simple fact of lack of health care, which is the biggest thing. You know what I mean? They don't take care of Latin and black women like they do white women. That's a fact. Two, infant mortality exists when women don't come to full term of their pregnancy a lot of times, or premature birth, which I went through. Well, I ain't go through, but my daughter's mother went through it when she was alive. She went through a premature birth. I hold no whims about it. I always say my daughter mom black as this hoodie right here, but my daughter's mother was beautiful, and so was my daughter. My daughter was born premature, and she was so thin you could see through her. Like, you could literally see through it. They had her in an incubator. You're looking at the degradation if you let women like this. You continue to, even though you think it's cute, you think it's funny, and he, because I see all you little girls in there, because that's what they are, a bunch of little girls. AT baby G, a bunch of little girls in there, and these little girls be in there, and they be, yeah, the black man did be wrong, and the blah 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 blah. We don't know the nigga you picked. And that's what I mean by these guys that were in this car in the video I got. And it's on the page right now. It's in new videos, in the new videos. So you only got to go 1 to 2 videos down. Just hit my name, hit videos, you'll see it. And these brothers pull up on this dude. They riding down the block in Brooklyn on the Bronx. They pull up on this dude, right? And there's a trash can knocked over, which is disgusting in New York City, trust me. And then there's a shorty that's sitting on the motherfucking sidewalk, and the dude is hovered standing over top of her. And like, and he looked like he was getting ready to hit her again. Like, he had already hit her, but he looked like he was getting ready to hit her again. So niggas pulled up on him, like the dudes I know. Hey, yo, boy, what you doing, boy? You want your leg shot up, boy? You want to die out here? Like, hit her again. And then they say to the shorty, yo, miss, you all right? You need to ride somewhere? You need to go somewhere? Something like that? Whatever. You know what I mean? And she sits up there and wants to stay there. So don't tell me dudes don't come to the defense of them. Now you mean these little chump ass motherfuckers been raised by women don't come to the defense of black women. That's who don't. Those are the motherfuckers that sit around and film what's going on. Even though these dudes were filming too, I think they were filming for their protection. But I damn sure know I know hundreds of dudes all throughout the tri-state that would have that same reaction. I've been part of that reaction. Yo, hit her again, G. You know what I'm saying? Hit her again in front of us and see what happens to you. There's another one. This one is from Patila Lamar, VRRK.tech. That's another one. Let me take a picture of that one. So that's 6 now. 6 of them try to stop me. You see what I'm saying? So let's hide this user, get them out of here, and report them. Report unwanted commercial content. Oh, motherfuckers like that, I'm reporting. Any other time, I don't report people. What's up, T Baby G? If y'all saw that was another one of them. So like I told you, I don't be making this up. If somebody on here, they be trying everything to stop me. I had a motherfucker one time go through all my comments, telling people don't donate to me. That's the biggest one. Don't donate to him, so they can get the donations circulated to him. You notice I don't say don't donate to nobody. If you want to donate to Kevin Samuels, donate to him. Help him buy another Ferrari. If you want to donate to Kwame Brown, who's already a millionaire, go ahead. You know what I'm saying? If you want to donate to several other motherfuckers on here that are already millionaires, just because they can't tour, they are now going on. Here's another one. Vark.tech. Taiwan Ground. You guys don't get bored. Huh? How many of these you got? As another one. You see that? Look at T Baby. Scroll down to the bottom of the screen. Look at T Baby G. Hey Davin, hey chat. And she's got the hearts and the hand clap. See the comment under it? See the comment under it? Vark Tech, that right there? That's a bot. And that bot is designed to stop the flow of people coming to my channel. There's like a series of videos up about this. And even if I create a new channel, it will not go away because YouTube and Google have not even found a way to get rid of this bot. That's the most interesting part about it. So the only thing you can do is hide them. Do y'all see that? Just so I know I'm not crazy before I delete it. Just scroll all the way down to the bottom. Do y'all see that comment that says VRK.tech? That's a bot. That's why you keep seeing it pop up like that. So let's get rid of that. You see it, right? I told you I'm not making shit up. That's a bot. And so because I like all flavors. I do too. We all like all flavors. Most people that are African American in this country are mixed with something. So what are we talking about? I'm mixed. So what the fuck, right? Who cares? Sa punyeta ja. Tsaka suboka. Yeah. What was the other one that I got? Don't donate to him. He ain't fully black. Don't donate to him. He's really a Mexican. I had somebody call me a Mexican. I'm not half Mexican, okay? Shout out to a Mexican though. And tú sabes, salud, la gente la mexicano. Yeah, it's just funny. It's just funny. It's just funny. It's just funny. But to say that men of color don't defend, no, little boys don't defend you. And why would you expect somebody that's 20, 21 to defend your old ass and you 37, 38, 40, 45, 49, young 50s or something like that? Why would you expect a motherfucker to defend you that's in their 20s unless you were in dire straits? Like, it's not like it's a building on fire and you need a motherfucker to put you over their shoulder and take you down the stairway or some shit like that. I lived doing 9/11 here in the tri-state area. I have a friend that I did the wedding of theirs. He's an old friend. His wife was in the trade towers as it was on fire. She's been on several news programs talking about her experience. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, come on, man. Get out of here. Shout out to Mia Solte. You know what I'm saying? Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. You talking about suckers. You've been around suckers all your life. And that's the real call and card right now. A lot of these women have been around suckers, and it goes to attribute to a lot of the environment you grew around, your decision-making choices on how you pick men. I cut a bitch off. Excuse my French. I'll cut a bitch off in a minute if I see that you are a problem. You understand what I'm saying? I just did it recently. I was talking to somebody. I thought they was cool. They started getting into some ghetto shit. I saw that they had a lot of shit going on in their life. And I'm talking about this was in 2 days. I grabbed somebody's phone number. You know how we do, fellas. I said, let me see what Shorty about. She was cute and she looked like she was a business type. But in her personal life, nothing but madness. Nothing but madness. You know, I called and there was some dude over the house. And I said, yo, who's that? Oh, that's my son's father, whatever, whatever. I said, okay, cool. And then I heard them ensue into an argument. You understand? And so then I said to myself, okay, that means if I go over there and I'm messing with her, I'm now a part of that argument. And that argument stems back way further than when I stepped into the scene. So now I got to make a decision. Do I financially, because eventually, if a woman has kids, you're going to have to, financially contribute somewhere, So it is what it is, man. It is what it is. If y'all like the domain, man, it's $ STRINGERBELL80. If not, hit the like button and sit here and just talk with me. You know what I'm saying? It's all good, man. We down to, what's the day? The 22nd? We in the 22nd, right? Yeah, it's the 22nd. So we got 3 days left to Christmas. Well, 2 days left to Christmas. I ain't worried about no presents, none of that shit. I'll be good. I'm glad to be in the crib, man. You know what I'm saying? So I don't need no presents or nothing like that, whatever. The homegirl yesterday, she donated $25 to me. So I want to give a shout out to her for that. You know what I'm saying? She asked me in the comment section, "Did you get it?" I said, "Yeah." I just don't make a video because niggas be trying to clock when you get donations and shit like that. So I got a different way of doing that now, and I just reach out to the person directly and just say it. You know what I'm saying? But if you guys would like to donate, it's $STRINGERBELL80. YouTube does not pay black male content creators for some reason or another. But if you're a black female, you talking about every gossip that's out there, or you getting a check. Nika Knight, she gets a check. The couple other female YouTubers that make it a diatribe to just deduce everything they can about males in society, they get checks. Meanwhile, we have to sit back and ask our audience to contribute. You know what I'm saying? Which many of the times the audience, they'd rather just sit back and listen to you than contribute to you. Well, it goes with the game. That's why I said I just need new followers. So if you don't donate, please direct me to a friend that will donate, or break them a follow or whatever, whatever, and make up for the slack of you. That's all I ask. I don't ask for much. I cannot sit back and explain to you guys any more than I could possibly about how sickening it is to see not only the way YouTube and the paradigm of YouTube is, but the contradictions, the hypocrisy, and everything else that goes into many YouTubers, and yet they're still being able to get paid. Like a Cynthia G. I don't know if she's on a pillar, if she gets paid or not. I highly doubt it, but it's a possibility she does. But I know Nika Knight does, because she's showing the plaques and everything else. And I know a couple other female YouTubers that do the same type of diatribe, and they try to articulate the bullshit. They get paid by YouTube and Google. And so, which leads me to believe YouTube and Google are in on the motherfucking the scam as well too. And I think what the scam is they are trying. This is any man of color, because Asian men are not dating their women. Like I said, the highest point of interracial marriage is with Asian women. So Asian men are not dating their women. Arab men are not marrying their women in bulk in this country, and many other ethnicities and Latin men as well. Their women are 61% of the population as far as single moms. So let's just throw it in the skew real quick and just say that minority women are looking at white men as an scapegoat. Now, I threw something up in the community section to back this. It was a statement that this woman had put out. And she said, how come this paraphrase a little bit. When I date a white man, I can go out and he's going to buy me dinner and roses. He's going to buy me everything and get this, that. This was like a figment of this chick's imagination. And she probably never, ever had went out with a white dude, or couldn't distinguish the fact of somebody in love with her versus somebody, or infatuated with her versus somebody that just wanted to sleep with her. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that all white men have the intent of sleeping with them, but I'm gonna tell you some of my personal experiences before I get off of here. White men, and I'm gonna tell you this: some minority men, white men, certain white men have this thing of trying to test you if you with your girlfriend out in public. And many men of color, I'm pretty sure y'all went through this before, where you could be with and you got to test your chick, test your chick Put in the room around white folks and see how she acts. See if she speaks to them differently than she speaks to you, for one. Two, see if she's more attentive to them than she is of you, or not in the same decor. Three, pay attention and see if she's elated by being in that situation. And you'll find three things out. You'll find out one, she's easily interrupted and she's probably an actress. Two, she's easily thwarted and she will use you to stay in that environment until she finds better. Three, more importantly enough, you probably got an undercover coon on your hand. Ready to serve. What you say, Master? We sick. We sick. Yeah, well, see, Superstar Bella, this is the thing. Black people are not the only person that have melanin in their skin. You know, anything from a yellow pigmentation all the way up to the darkest of black is melanin. And when I say yellow pigmentation, that yellow pigmentation, if you're talking about King Hannibal that invaded Italy, it's very pertinent there. I know a lot of Italian people. In fact, I'm gonna put up a video for you later on, and it's in Brooklyn. And I'm gonna show you 4 Italian men, right, in the video. And the one Italian man that you're gonna see in there, you're gonna swear to God he's black, and he's not, he's Italian. And I know other Italians that look like him. Most of them are from Napoli, Napoli, Palermo, Dijon. I have friends from these places, literally, here in Connecticut and in New Jersey. And so they come in different shades. You understand? So even though this man is Italian or he's Portuguese, they have a place in Portugal called the Azores. You ever heard of it? The Azores is kind of the same thing. It was a portion that King Hannibal had attempted to invade. People don't finish a story when they talk about King Hannibal of West Africa. It's a very true story. His conquest was to take over the world, like the Romans and the Greeks wanted to do prior to him. And that's where he got the idea, if you ask me. But he wanted to have world domination of the African culture, right? And so what he did was, yeah, the white dude, Polo the Don. So he said the white people was like, no, we don't. I didn't finish it, but I'm gonna go back to it, Polo. Give me a second. Polo know what I'm talking about. I fuck with Polo the Don. Shout out to you, man. Salute, 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 man. Y'all hit up the Cash App and hit the like button too, man, if y'all could. $ STRINGERBELL80. All links in the description box for PayPal, that, and purchase my single as well. This is the funny shit. King Hannibal went through Italy, but he made his way all the way to Portugal. Okay. Now, there's a part of Portugal called the Azores, right? And here in Connecticut, we have Portuguese people too. We have Portuguese restaurants or whatever. I'll do some videos. So I'm going to show you guys downtown because I just thought about it the other day and I was like, yo, this is the perfect way to show them what I'm talking about because most people, if you don't live here, you're not going to understand what I'm talking about. But the bulk of history here in Connecticut is it for the past 100 years has been Italians, Greeks, and blacks in this state. It's always been that. It's heavily that. But and then later on, in the past 30 years, the Latino population. But prior to that, the Latino population wasn't here as it is in bulk now. A lot of Latinos that are here now, they're coming over from New York and New Jersey. They're trying to escape. They're trying to escape both of them. But and rightfully so. It's okay. You know what I mean? Este mi gente aquí. I'm not worried about that. I'd rather live around them any day than live around some like shitty people. You know what I'm saying? I don't like shitty people. I don't give a fuck what background you're from. I just don't like shitty people. But anyway, long story short, the funny thing about this whole shit is that he made it all the way to Portugal. Made it to Portugal. You can look this up if you like to. And so there's a particular part of Portugal called the Azores where people damn near they look more like me. Let me put it that way. They look like me. They look like something like maybe Pharrell, if you would say, or whatever, whatever. You'll think these people are black. There's another group that's actually Portuguese as well, and they're from what the hell they call Cape Verdean, the Cape Verdean Islands, which is at the uppermost northern tip. It's around Egypt and all that or whatever. It's similar to where French Montana is from in Morocco, where the French colonized them. The Arabs and Africans mix in with French. Well, in Cape Verdean Islands, or Cape Verde, or the Cape Verdean Islands, either way you want to put it. These are the same people, and you'll think that they're black. Some people think that they're Puerto Rican, but they're Portuguese and they're African. And there's a crap load of them in Connecticut, especially. I know several of them. Um, and they'll have names like I have one friend, his name is Chido Guzman, okay? But he's Portuguese, all right? But you'll think he's black, but he's Portuguese. Now he doesn't speak Portuguese or anything like that, but you'll think that he's Spanish, but in actuality he's African in descent. You understand? I've got another friend that's the same thing. You'll think he's black, but honestly and truthfully, he's Cape Verdean. Now, if you've never heard of Cape Verdean people, because I know they're not that popular all across the country, you mostly find them in Cali and in this area outside of New York. Like you have to go up through Rhode Island, Boston has a lot of them, or whatever, whatever. But that's what they're called. They're called Cape Verdeans. And Cape Verdeans and people that are Portuguese from the Azores are the other ones. They similarly look like they're black, and they have what? Melanin in their skin. So anything from yellow all the way to the darkest of dark black, and you even have to think about it in your own diaspora, which is the black culture. It's the same thing with black people. Black people come from the lightest of light to the darkest of dark. Same thing happens with Latino culture. The lightest of light to the darkest of dark. They're Latino, they're way darker than me. And they straight from DR, whatever, whatever. I can show you right now in Harlem some Dominicans and Cubans that look dark as fuck, and you will think they like black, black, and they'll be like, "Con qué la vaina, cuando tú vayas, tú sabes, gente, hey, qué la vaina." That's Dominican shit. You got that. You got that right, Star Bella. I am rolling. She was bugging out. Hannibal got them good. I'm aware of the Punic Wars. That's exactly what it's called. The Punic Wars. She's a smart girl. I like that. Them white guys were saying, no, we don't. Now, I want to get on what Polo the Don was saying. So I threw up this post because the girl had wrote, yeah, when I go on dates, and I'm talking about the posters in my community section, it's still there. She said, and I had grabbed it from another post that I had seen, but I was like, this is fucking perfect. So the girl had wrote up the thing and she had said, yeah, and white men take us out for dinner and he buys this and he does that, da 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 da. That's you fetishizing. You're fetishizing monetarily. You're not fetishizing sexually. That's a difference. When you fetishize, people don't bring that out enough. When we're talking about fetishes, women from the beginning of time, we're talking about all the way back to Joan of Arc and before then Queen Mary, who was a fucking nut. Queen Mary of Scots used to cut motherfuckers' heads off for enjoyment. Okay, there have been some insidious, fucking crazy women in history. Okay, Queen Mary of Scott. There's been many of them. Aphrodite, I just mentioned her the other day. Aphrodite tried to get one of her former lovers to as a concert to consort to marry his own mother. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of female deities, female demons. Like, trust me when I tell you this. I went over the story of Lilith and how Lilith was, in some religions, people think that was Adam's first wife or whatever. But let me get back to this. So in the community section, there's a post that I put up, and this woman was talking about, yeah, white dudes when they date us, they do this, they do that, they do this. And I know this for a fact because I grew up with a whole shitload of white dudes. No, the fuck they don't. And this is the responses to the tweet itself from white men with white men's faces. You knew it was white dudes because you could look at the history through. Because I went through the look. I said, let me make sure this ain't no goof. So I went through and I encourage you to do the same thing. Just take their name, put it in Twitter, and look at their material. You'll be like, okay, this is a white man. And then many of them have pictures of this. So there's no chunk in it. And the responses that these men gave, I said, yeah, that's real white dudes. Because real white dudes wouldn't sit back and be like, yo, yeah, I'm a sucker, baby. A sucker white dude would do that. A white dude that can't get women, they do shit like that. They'll be like, yeah, baby. They pander to women. They're no different than a man of color would. So a lot of times when you're mistaking it, you're saying this goes for the guys too. When you're saying, oh, well, black girls don't do this, or Spanish girls don't do this, or whatever, whatever. A lot of times it's white girls that won't do that shit either. And that's the same thing here with these white guys. These white guys are waking up and they're saying, oh, you think I'm a lick. This is why I don't date white girls, because they think I'm a lick. And see, Now you have the same cycle going on, but within another culture. So really what it is there's a segment of women that are minorities that are crying out and they never want to return because of hypergamy, I believe that's how you pronounce it. They never want to return to poverty. And I can respect that. You know, I don't want to be in poverty. I went through one of the most poverty-stricken times of my life. I never want to go back to poverty. You know, that's why I always, you notice I've been on here about 2 hours. I'm gonna wrap it up in about 10 minutes, but I've been on here for about 2 hours. How many times have I mentioned my Cash App? 3 times. That's it. And I'm gonna mention it right now. Cash App $ STRINGERBELL80. And there's another one for us right there. VUN.FYI. Y'all see that one right there? That's another one. The other one coming in trying to throw in a what's name. That's probably Cynthia G or one of them. Cynthia does stuff like that. You notice when I said the thing about the Cash App, motherfuckers started getting out of there. Y'all go donate to one of them motherfuckers talking about that nigga shit. I heard somebody got shot today. Go donate to the nigga talking about that. White man, very race loyal. Look at Ben Affleck and Justin Bieber. Ben don't have kids with J-Lo, and Justin did not marry Selena Gomez. Exactly. In fact, Ben Affleck would not, I'm glad Superstar Bella brought that up. Ben Affleck would not marry, and that's why it's weird that they're back together, and how she left Alice Rodriguez because she thought that he was the better choice. Now J-Lo is 50-something plus years old. You have no kids. The reality of you having any kids is slim but none. I mean, Janet Jackson did it. Maybe there's some maternity clinic that can serve her. I don't want to take that. Or maybe she can actually adopt. There's a lot of kids that are black and Spanish that are left in adoption agencies, and they're the last to be adopted, believe it or not. Most of the time when people want to adopt, they adopt females. It doesn't matter what race they are either. But they adopt the females first. They adopt the younger females first. And the older you are in the adoption agency, the harder it is for you to get adopted. So once you turn like 10 or 11 years old and you're not in a permanent home and you happen to be a minority, it's even harder. She has 2 kids with Mark Anthony. Well, then again, once again, she left 2 Spanish men, 2 Latino men that were very opulent, very accomplished, still well known. And in many cases, many people would say that Alice Rodriguez and Ben Affleck could rightfully compete for popularity. So why do you think she left 2 Hispanic men after she went to 2 Hispanic men after she was running from one white man that she had broken up with? She went directly from Ben Affleck to Mark Anthony. Then after she left Mark Anthony, she went directly to Alice Rodriguez. Now she had a little fuddle dates in between. You know what I'm saying? Little fuddle dates in between. But for the most part, those were the 2 long-standing fucking relationships that she had. And I didn't know she had 2 kids. Well, good for her. Irregardless, outside the point. Those kids are what? Latino. They're not white. They're Latino. And a lot of people try to mix white and Latino together, and they're not. Usually when I find who does this is poor white trash. Whites and Latinos are not the same. That culturally, language, or anything else. More morality wise, I can see some similarities here and there, but then at the same time, African Americans will have that same similarity and that same approach too. So let's just call that American ethics. It has nothing to do with race or culture. It just has to do with ethics of where you're currently living. You understand? Meaning that if you were in the islands still, 9 times out of 10, you wouldn't have a lot of those same ethics. And a lot more examples point to that. If you go to Puerto Rico right now, the gangs run Puerto Rico. If you go to DR right now, the gangs run DR. If you go to El Salvador right now, the gangs run that area. So let's not sit around and play pretend and act like it's all clinky and they shot Big Poppy in DR and they weren't even trying to shoot for him. They were shooting for another person. They thought he was another person. So they go to tell you. And the dudes that did it were from New Jersey, where they were living in New Jersey. I like that when I see a man hit a woman, I walk in peace and always with Mr. Smith. All right now. But yeah, it's crazy because J-Lo, I'm not a real big fan of J-Lo. She dated Puff for a while, and I saw how she ran. She's a runner, typical Bronx chick. But no shot at all my Bronx chicks. But particular four-line Bronx chick. Let me put it that way. 4 and 6 train Bronx chicks. Very different than 2 train Bronx chicks. A chick on the 2 train in the Bronx, you could trust them a little bit more. A chick on the 4 or the 6 line, it's a 50-50 every time. It's a 50-50 every time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but you are on it. That thank you. J-Lo was not having any mixed kids either. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if she was or not. I can't speak for her on that. But I know when she was with Puff, I know she ran when the situation happened. And she tried to separate herself as quickly and as possibly as she could. And she didn't speak to Puff for a few years. They claimed they were friends, but I think Puff knew that she was getting ready to break up with Alice Rodriguez, A-Rod at the time. I really think that because I saw this video Puff did, and it was just fucking so weird when he was there and he was amongst both of them, those three, and he was talking, and I was like, "Why you got your fucking ex-boyfriend here?" And I think that was a hint right then and there to like, "Yo, I ain't feeling this relationship no more." You know, that's what I think J Lo was saying because I was like, "We ain't seen you with Puff in years," and Puff tried to kind of justify it too, like, you know, and the camaraderie. If y'all don't understand, J Lo was from the Bronx, and the part of the Bronx she was from is closer to Mount Vernon. You understand what I'm saying? Where Puff was living. I knew Mount Vernon. I stomped through Mount Vernon. Some of my crew was from Mount Vernon. Third Ave, shout out to y'all. You know what I'm saying? The same Safeway, the same, what's the name? All that shit is over there still to this day. Shout out to my man Macho, Bill Bathgate, all y'all over there, man. Love y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? Albertisto, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man Showboat, Little, you know what I mean? All them over there in Mount Vernon. Also, the J Lo was a bugaboo, always calling and needing lots of attention. Yeah, it sounds like a typical Bronx chick, man. Y'all act like because these chicks get rich that they all of a sudden change their personalities. They don't. When I was in the business, I had the same personality I have right now, and people love me for it. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't have my bad personality traits. J Lo is like, I don't know, man. You know that flight and run shit, like when the shit went down with Puff, that's typical Bronx chick shit. You know what I'm saying? From no 4 or 6 lines. Y'all gotta live in this area, understand what I'm talking about. But nobody was surprised in New York that she ran for, you know what I'm saying? Nobody. um, you know what I'm saying? That don't matter what race she was. That was this particular 4 or 6 train line shit for Bronx chicks. That's how they act. The girls on the 2 line, I feel, and some of the 4 line, those are the chicks that'll hold you down. Those are the chicks that'll be like, "Yo, Poppy, I got the pistol. Don't worry about it. This nigga started, I hand it to you. Don't worry." You know what I'm saying? It's like a little bit different. And then another thing about my area had a lot of Dominicans. So like my area, the Dominicans in my area are very different than the Dominicans on the west side. But I fuck with both. I fuck with the Dominicans over in the Bronx, and I fuck with the Dominicans in Harlem. You know what I'm saying? I'm more tighter with my Dominican friends in Harlem than anything. Access to money doesn't change you. It amplifies who you already are. That's right, TMH Global. That's right. That's right. By the way, I was only talking about the T. I am very picky about everything. I got you. I got you. Damn it, you just outlined. I'm for the 6 like you not lying. I'm trying to tell you. I tell no Chuck. I know what you were saying. Damn you. You had a lot of for the 6 like you not lying. Kira said all the men have problems with J Lo, Rosie, all the fly girls. Yeah, 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 yeah. Rosie Perez is totally different though. Rosie Perez, she's still out here. Rosie Perez, first of all, let me say Rosie Perez is fucking beautiful. Let me say that. I follow her on Instagram. Y'all go check her out. Follow her on Instagram. If y'all don't. Rosie Perez damn near looks like the same damn person that she was, but Rosie Perez is an old school Latina. You know, there's like most of you guys will know, like an old school black chick, like kind of like what's that girl's name? Like Tiffany Haddish or Vivica A. Fox or no, not a Vivica. What's the other girl? I like her better. She from Maryland too. What is her name? She played a baby boy. What's her name? Taraji P. Henson. She's like that's who Rosie Perez is. All right. Rosie Perez is basically Taraji P. Henson, that old school spirit. You remember from that, you know what I'm saying? That's who Rosie Perez is. So her soul hasn't changed. You get what I'm saying? Even though she has all that money or whatever, I've met Rosie Perez probably like 6 or 7 times or whatever. I don't know if she remember me, but I've met her. She used to be around frequently because at the time we were coming up, she was like in her like early, well, mid 30s, going into 40s. She was still young. So she used to be around the clubs, moving around in New York and shit like that. Not heavy, but she used to be moving around. You would see her. And she was always the same person. She's very humble. She's very nice. You know what I'm saying? But let me tell you about that four line, six line, and the two line. Okay, the six line is the hood. I don't care what nobody says. You go over there, you better know somebody over there. You know what I'm saying? Or you better be going to get something and leaving. All right, that's how the six line go. The four line is a 50-50. Depending on where you at over there, you could be welcome or you could be chased the fuck out. The two line, pretty much anybody could walk through the two line. Okay, you for the most part, you in safe ground in the two line. The only thing is, if you come over to the two line to get it messed up, they will remind you still in the Bronx. That's the difference. So the women now, let me talk about the women. Women on the six line don't give a fuck. Okay, that's why J Lo had a record, if y'all remember, on the six. She was talking about the six train. That's her line. You get what I'm saying? So there's three different lines. The Bronx is huge. So there's three different lines. There's the six train, the four train, and the two train. The two train will take you over to the area I was living. I lived on Warren and Mace, right? Now, that's the two line off Fordham and Pelham. And so that's the part where I lived at or whatever. But on the two, the four, those lines, you like right in the South Bronx, center of the South Bronx. Yes, Eastchester, it is the hood. But Eastchester is Italian and Irish neighborhoods. That's right. So Polo the Don know what I'm talking about. We grew up there. Just like Bathgate Ave is over on by the BX12 line. You know what I'm talking about with Bathgate, right? That all hooks up to Little Italy right there. The real Little Italy, not that Little Italy that's over there on fucking Canal Street or whatever. Not to take anything from them, but that ain't the fucking real Little Italy. The real Little Italy is in the BX. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. You can go over there. They got a what is it? I forgot what the hell it is. I want to call it an atria, but it's not. It's a market, and you can go in there. You can get fresh raviolis, fresh tangali, fresh all that shit, penny pasta, all that. You can get all that. He knows exactly what I'm talking about. Exactly, Bathgate, right there on the 12, right after you get past Matter of fact, it's right before that. They got a 7-Eleven over there and the McDonald's and all that. You know what I'm talking about, right there where the BX9 and the BX12 stop. The real Little Italy. He know what I'm talking about. That's the real Little Italy right there. You understand what I'm saying? They got a big mural of Chaz Parati that's sprayed on the wall right there. And then across the street from there, they got another one. I forgot. I think that might be A-Rod that's on the wall right there or whatever. But they got one from a Bronx Tale. You understand? And Chaz was one of the Italian bosses that was in there. I don't know. I think he's still alive, but his real name is Chaz Parati, but he's from the Bronx. Who else is from the Bronx? Al Pacino's from the Bronx. you know. So these guys, I wasn't born in the Bronx or whatever, but that's the only two places I know is the Bronx, Harlem, and Connecticut. All my life, Bronx, Harlem, Connecticut, and Mount Vernon. You know what I mean? All my whole entire adult life. I know the Bronx, Connecticut, and excuse me, the Bronx, Connecticut, Harlem, and that's it. And Mount Vernon, That's the places I know the most. I got partners in Brooklyn. I go check people in Brooklyn or whatever. And I got people I got in Queens. Shout out to Dion in Queens or whatever. But when it comes down to it, my stomping grounds is BX Harlem and Connecticut. You know what I mean? Always has been. I got history, stories, friends buried, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, in those three locations. So those are the people that I hold in love. But you ain't gonna tell me too much about the two train or the BX line, Interval. You know what I'm saying? None of those. Prospect. You ain't gonna tell me about none of those. You know what I mean? Because I ride through them. I know the people. Niggas would test you. You know what I'm saying? Let me tell you how people test you in the X. This is how they do, right? Somebody will walk up to you. Grand Concourse is developing really nuts. Isn't it though? Isn't it though? And if they could get this crap or this freaking virus shit out the way, it would be even better. Yes, Devin, facts. Warpath from the lockout was speaking about YouTube at one night, right? Yeah, man. A lot of people be talking about that. But let me tell you though, right? People will test you and they'll be like, "Yo, son, you know how to get over here?" That's how they find out if you from the burg. So if you mess up and you don't know something or whatever, like I remember one night, dude asked me, he was like, "Yo, son, so the BX9 come here, right?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, you know where it go?" I said, "Yeah, take you down to the mall. Why? Why? What you want to know?" You know what I'm saying? Like people will test you like that or whatever, whatever. They'd be like, "Yo, you know how to get to Burlington from here?" You know what I'm saying? Like shit like that. Or somebody ask you, "Yo, you know how to get to Salsa Con Fuego from here?" That's a trip right there. Because if you go to Salsa Con Fuego, only certain people gonna know what I'm talking about. But if you go to Salsa Con Fuego, like you gonna have to like you ain't gotta switch buses, but you can, but the BX9 will take you right there. It'll take you like right in front of the doorstep, and then the barbershop, the Dominican barbershop, right across the street from there. But it's right on the corner too. But they got some good food in there, boy. I ain't gonna tell y'all too much because I'm putting y'all on. But shout out to Corey Holcomb, man. Yo, Corey, man, that was some sucker shit, man. You came to the town, man. Told niggas you was out, motherfucking out in the sticks somewhere. Test you for the jokes, exactly, exactly. And your answer could depend on whether your night gonna be good or bad, or potentially could end up with something else. Exactly. That's why I'm motherfuckers to test you, because I don't want the chances if I have to run into this motherfucker again and he might have a pistol with him next time I see him. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. That would be Sicilian. Exactly. That's why I said Napolis, Palermo, Sicilia. This guy knows what he's talking about. That's why it's a surprise to you when I said we grew up around mostly Italians and Greeks. Because if you're in Connecticut, that's especially on the shoreline. I'm talking about outside of here where I'm at right now. I was on the shoreline, so it's a little bit different. But in New York, that's all I was ever around was fucking Italians and Greeks. You know what I'm saying? Like all of the time. Like I even know how to speak some of there. Like it was, like it's not very different from Spanish to be honest with you. It's like "E como tu estás?" You know what I'm saying? "Va fungere, Italiano." You know, so it's like it's not very hard to pick up. But yeah, I got a friend named William Rocchio. I got another one, Demikio Vaco, Demetrio Baco, Demetrio Baco, and a couple other friends. Like there's no if ands and not. I have another friend. His name is Papadonasio. Uh, he's Greek. You know what I mean? I'm talking. These are like first, second generations. And with my friend Papadonasio, I knew his father, and his father was straight from there. Him and his cousins Costa, Billy, or Costanopoulos. So I've known these guys all my life. I don't tell no Chuck on here. I'm thank you, Polo the Don. So I ain't telling no Chuck. I ain't lying. That Chuck word, that's some Brooklyn shit. But I ain't telling no lies whatsoever, man. Somebody just retracted my message when he put up my what's the name up there, man. Thank you though, Polo the Don. I see you putting up my cash app up there, man. So guys, I'm gonna get up off of here. I'm gonna give me something to eat in me for one. I'm starving. I've been on here about 2 hours, 20 minutes and smoke one of these Lucy's or whatever, whatever. Thank you very much, brother. I appreciate that, man. If y'all haven't hit that like button, please hit that like button. Yeah, Polo the Don, the real one, man. Polo the Don, the real one, because that's Bronx. Like, listen, anything to go from Eastchester, Riverdale, Jesus Christ, I'm gonna say Riverdale all the way down to Bronxville, all that. That's the BX. You know what I mean? And like, one thing I say about the BX, I will say this. I love the people because the people are so authentic. In the Bronx, really, especially on the two line, all the way up to Eastchester and all that, like it's really suburban. It's really is like suburban Soundview. Shout out to Soundview, River Park Towers. My man, listen, shout out to Tick Attack from River Park Towers. They dancers. Shout out to Jamel, that used to be the manager. I just saw Tick Attack not too long ago in Times Square. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Tick Attack. They dancers. If y'all don't know what I'm talking about, look them up. Tick Attack dancers. They twin dancers. And tú sabes, la barrio. Tú sabes, la gente en la barrio. And tú sabes, claro que sí, no? But shout out to Tick Attack, you know what I'm saying? They're dancers. They from River Park Towers. They were friends of mine for the longest or whatever. Jamel, DJ Supreme, Bram, the Dread, all them over there, River Park Towers. Shout out to Soundview, my man K, Dubs over there. J Dubs, what's up, man? Hit me up sometimes, man, if you see this. And there's a couple other people that I knew at one time. I don't know if they still over there. Yes, Sicily is only 90 miles from Africa. That's why it was so easy for King Hannibal to direct his attention here. Exactly. I'm glad you said that. You backed up even more what I was saying. Yeah, it's only 90 miles. And it was less than that because you just had the at the time, I'm telling you, you're talking about this maybe a millennia, maybe a little bit more outside of Pangea actually happening when the continent split from land masses. So it was probably easier then to obtain passage into Sicily. But back to what I was saying, man. And shout out to everybody over in the X, man. Y'all some good people, man. I've never had a problem. Shout out to Harlem, specifically the West Side. I fuck with the East Side too, but not like I do the West Side. West Side is my stomping grounds. Like, I don't know, that's just me, and it has a lot of things and variables in it. My man's live over there. Has been my best friend for like 20 something years or whatever, whatever. Even though he ain't never called me his best friend, nigga, I'm the best friend you got. You know what I'm saying? One of the best friends you got anyway. And love you, big head. Shout out to Uptown or whatever, whatever. Don't worry, we're gonna be all right. I got a plan. My real tight partners. He knows I'm into the shipping container home things or whatever, whatever. And that's one of the things. One day, I hope he don't see this, but one of the days I'm gonna gift him with. I'm gonna build him a huge fucking crib so he can just have for his own and never have to worry about rent or nothing like that or whatever. And it should be even more easier with all these shipping containers sitting in fucking docks right now with your motherfucking Christmas presents on. That's why I ain't that upset about not getting up for Christmas or not getting no donate. I ain't worried about that shit, man. I'll be all right. You know what I'm saying? So thank you guys for tuning in. I don't want to make this too long today. I will be back live with y'all later on to talk with y'all, whatever. But I'm glad that we started out at one position and got into another, man. It's beautiful. So let me just tell everybody thank you. Antoine Queen, always thank you. Polo de Don El Ario, salud, gente, tú sabes. And who else is on here? TMH Global, shout out to you. Definitely. Polo the Dog was talking that real though. I love it. Love it, man. Jesus Christ. Superstar Bella, it's been a pleasure. Please come back. Please come back. Please come back. I like your energy. And I'm just trying to see. Yeah, it's just my regulars on here. Everybody's in the comments section. So there's so many comments on here. Damn. There goes those fuckers that were trying to flag my channel. And if you guys haven't hit the like button, please do that. 305 Capricorn, been with me for a long time. Shout out to her, respect to her. I'm trying to see who else is it. Jesus Christ, y'all left a lot of comments in here. All right, y'all. And Christopher Shader that wrote in that bullshit in the comment. And I want to give a big shout out to everybody on here that came and put your motherfucking time in to putting all those little fucking things in here and shit like that. I want to appreciate y'all for doing that because y'all just made more people come in here. So I appreciate y'all throwing in all the little bullshit ass things, whatever y'all was trying to do. Let's give a shout out to them, all six of you. I've been rocking with you for like a year. I know you have, Polo. I know you have. I'm proud of your progress. Thank you very much. It's and that's why I said, man, I'll just say that one thing before I get out of here. I might not have, no donations, nothing like that. I might not even have furniture up in this motherfucker. But you know what though? One thing, and this ain't no air mattress either. It's a real bed for somebody says some shit like that. This is a real bed, nigga. With two stacks, not one, two stacks. But one of the things I'm happy about is I remember the past two Christmases, I was in fucking homeless shelters, and it was you stupid. It's ugly. Shut up. You made me mess up what I was saying. Shit. One of the things that and I gotta say this from the heart. One of the things was the past two Christmases I had spent them in homeless shelters, and it was just crazy. Last year, I was smart enough and I left and I said, yo, you know what? I'm going to at the very least, go get me a room because I'm not sitting up around a whole bunch of miserable motherfuckers. And I remember I went to one of the local restaurants. It was an Indian place, right? I got to tell the story. It was an Indian place and it was right up there by 59th Street because that's why I got the room. I got a hostel, so it's a little different. And so I went up there and I actually it was a year before. was it last year or the year before? It was the year before. It was the year before. I make a mistake. It was the year before because the pandemic wasn't going on. So I went and got me a hostel or whatever. And I was in the room with probably like three other people, and I think they were from Brazil or something like that or whatever. The hostel, if you don't know what it is, it's set up in New York. You go rent a spot or whatever. It's actually a bed. And like people will travel like that. These are international, they're everywhere. Like I'm part of one of them, it's called International Travels. And I had to pay the, what's the name? So to the day I die, I can go to any of their locations throughout the United States and be straight, you know? So, one of the things I remember is I went downstairs and I went to this Indian restaurant that's right around the corner, right there on 59th Street. Everybody know what I'm talking about, up by the Time Warner building. I did a live up there, so y'all know what I'm talking about. And I went in there, and the guy, he was like, they have the things on like the kebabs, like the kebab wheels and shit. And so I like lamb. This dude, he said, "Listen, my brother, I'm about to close in a little bit anyway. Yeah, and he just chopped up the shit and he gave me so much lamb. He gave me a whole styrofoam container of lamb, right? And then in a separate small container, he gave me onions, mushrooms, the rice that they had and everything like that. And he gave it to me for free. And I said, well, at least let me give you a tip. So I gave him a $10 tip. This man probably gave me like $50 worth of food. He said, no, no, no. I wasted anyway. And I was like, yo, I pigged out. I ate that food for like 2 days. I couldn't eat all of it. I'm little, so I couldn't eat all of it, but I didn't get nothing. I ain't get nothing the year before that or whatever. I'm not worried about that. But it's a better time now than it is back then. So I thank God that yeah, I thank God of that. So anyway, guys, I'm gonna get up over here. Y'all hit that like button. If y'all want to donate something, the donation links in the description box will also be in a pinned comment. I want to thank all y'all for rocking with my goofy ass for the past 2 hours and 30 minutes. LOL, that's foreplay before the booty call. Dinner and drink. You stupid. I ain't fucking with y'all. I'll see y'all later. Laters, guys. Oh man.